Okay, dokes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Essay Elakma, and I will be your trainer for the next 4 weekends because we have a training today, we have tomorrow, and we have next week Saturday and next week Sunday. So we have 4 classes. Now, let me quickly explain how the whole program works. This training itself is a practical one. Yes, I will introduce you into the world of a business analyst, project manager, Scrum Master. However, we work on a mini project, just a very short mini project. So at least I introduce you into the world of a PMBA and Scrum Master, what they do, documents they create, because we'll be creating documents. We'll be using tools in the course of this training. So some of the tools are free. You don't need to pay for those ones because I have the free license or access. I'll give you the links. But some tools you have to pay for those because I don't own them. But this training is free. Irrespective of how you found out about this training, if you're to come to me directly, you're going to pay at least minimum of £950, depending on the one you're choosing. If it's BA 950, if it's PM 1250, and Scrum Master is 1500. So irrespective of how you join this, you're not to pay anything to attend this class. You're not to pay to be a part of this training. The only thing you pay for is your Jira access because we're going to be creating documents in Jira. And that's the only way you gain the benefit of this, because once you get a job, they don't ask you the theory. They give you case studies, scenarios, do it. And they're watching the way you use those tools, how you navigate those tools. They look at all of those things, plus the results of your case studies or your tasks. Because people, the recruiters and employers, they now know that people just go and do theory. They know. If you own your company, you wouldn't want to employ someone who hasn't actually done it. They may not have years and years of experience, but at least to a certain degree, they are not lying to you that they are experienced. They came to you as a junior. So you will give them a chance compared to someone who have claimed they know it and they only read it, they haven't done it. Companies are looking for people with experience. So I'm really, really emphasizing on this experience so you don't waste my time and I don't waste your time. If you know you don't want to participate in the classworks, then honestly, there's no point joining this training. You need to participate. All I'm asking for is go and get your Jira access so you can be a part of this. That's all I'm saying. And to have a Jira access so we can all work together in our project, I can see what you're doing. You can see what I am doing. Aside from that, you're not paying for anything. This training is free, okay? All right. I can see some questions in the chat. One is, hi, we're going to have the video sent to the class. And that's fine, Ugo. That's fine. Hi, Mirel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cecile. Okay, still 1 minute past 10. I can still admit people. Good morning. To me, I will appreciate all the videos. Hannah Ebu. Yes, fine. Hannah, you got it. So once I'm done with the training, I always put a post to say, okay, if you want the video, let me know. And just once a group of people have sent their email addresses, then I send it to that first batch. And if you have not received it, I'll keep sending it. So that is no problem at all. Okay. So let's start. I don't think once I start, I can't admit more people, but let's start. Okay, so my name is Essie, as I've said. I run an IT consultancy called DIIT Training. I am in partnership with various organizations. One of them is TTT, TPI, Nigerian Community. Any tech organizations, I do partnership with them where I provide my services to them for individuals who really want to come into tech and are serious about changing where they are into a better career. The lot of information online that people, for instance, project management, if you go online, there's so many things out there, you don't even know where to start from. One of the things most of this platform actually do is they take out all the unnecessary noise and give you a good place to start from, at least some videos. So if you've seen some of my videos out there, actually getting the video place, that's fine. Access to Jira Master and also that is fine. That's fine. For those people, irrespective of where you joined from, if you've seen some of my videos, you would have seen that I've introduced you into PM, BA, Scrum Master, and some more test analysis, solutions architect, depending on what it is you've seen that made you come to this place. Now, those or details of videos is not enough to get to a job, but however, it exposes you and introduces you into the world of that particular field or career in tech. You need hands-on experience. And I've been saying this again, because if you join our program from beginning to the end, which includes like the internship, where I assigned you to work with a UK company. You work and gain experience with them. Is that experience you actually put on your CV? And when the time comes, after you've done your interviews, the reference is that same company that provided you UK working reference. So that's the entire program. But for the training aspect for now, this, I'll just introduce you into your world and we will start working on a mini project. I've been in the tech space, as I said, for it's 21 years now. Please don't look at me. I don't have too much gray hair, but I did start quite early when I was in uni, not even my master's, my universities when I started. So you know how you go to uni and when you're on holiday, you do part-time jobs. That's how I got my first role or my first gig. And that's how I got introduced into tech. So yeah, it's been a long time, and to the glory of God, I own other several businesses, but this tech one is where I would say is my foundation of being an entrepreneur and catapulting me into rooms maybe I would have never entered before, if not because of tech. Tech exposes you to a lot of places that you would not have dreamt of going into in the first place. Sherry Logan, I'm not sure why you're using a mouse. If you don't want to be on camera, that is fine. You can go off camera. You don't have to use an avatar. And if you want to be on camera, that's fine. That's still your choice. Okay, so I've done a bit of ground rules. Please put your mic on mute, except you have a question, or if you want to raise your hand, please raise your hand. If you have a question at any point in time, please ask. Okay, so what do? We help individuals who are struggling and we help them by introducing them into tech. And we provide the mentorship program whereby we kind of guide you because you need someone who has been in the space to help you navigate certain things. If you were here from the very beginning, I explained that a lot of companies here in the UK, they don't look at your certificates or your educational background. What they look at is mostly your experience. It's as you progress in your career, they'll start focusing on, okay, yes, you have the experience, but do you have a university degree? Do you have this certificate or that certificate? They start asking those questions because that will now, at that time, become a criteria. But if you're going in as a junior or mid-level entry person, either as a BA, PM, or Scrum Master, you don't necessarily need a certificate at this point. However, if you already have it, that's a bonus. It's not a waste. Because if you do our program till the end, you will be given your certificates. Not I give you, you do your assessments like an exam. If you pass, then you get a certificate. That's if you follow our program through till the end. However, for just this training, it's enough. To be honest, if you participate in this training and participate in all the tasks and classwork, whatever you got in this training, to a certain degree, you can add that to your CV, but I can't provide reference at this point. And when you want to, when you're applying to job, they need UK working reference. They don't need anything from Africa. So if you're thinking of putting some Owando or Shell email, because Shell is a global, they don't accept all, they want a UK company on your CV. That's sure serious about getting a job. Please put yourselves on mute, please. Please put yourselves on mute, please. Okay, why join us? We provide clear-cut directions. I don't bamboozle you and make you more confused. I ensure that you are clear, crystal clear at the end of each class, that you start feeling, okay, I think I know this. I think I got this. That's what we do. What else? The program is divided into several bits and there are several outcomes to this training if you see it through to the end. Like I said, we introduce into what the BA, PM, Scrum Master. If those people who are probably on sponsorship currently and are trying to switch their sponsor, when you're done with your training and you want to apply to roles, we give you tech companies who are sponsoring. So you are applying directly to those companies, but this is only for people who do our internship. This is not for just the training. So if you do our internship and you are one of those ones that are trying to probably switch your sponsor to a tech sponsor, they will give you a list. There are over 1,000 companies who are sponsoring in tech, and they're looking for people who have the experience from the UK that they can verify. Then what else we do is I introduce the responsibilities of your role. I introduce you to the tools you use, how you use those tools, and what you use those tools in creating, the type of documents or deliverables or artifacts. I'm saying the same thing. Documents, deliverables, artifacts means the same. So in an interview, they can ask you, what deliverables have you created as a BA or as a PM, as a Scrum Master? You should be able to explain the type of document you've created and the tool you use in creating it, because they ask those questions. So if you're only going to watch this video without participating, then, well, no one can force you to participate in the practicals of the training. At the end of the whole program, if you're doing the internship, then yes, you're going to get your certificates. But obviously you have to do an assessment, and the internship itself, at least minimum of 2 months. That's what we usually recommend. Once you're done with your internship, then we'll do your CV for you. We do offer letter, LinkedIn optimization, and yes, the company you're going to work with will provide you with your UK working references, 2 references that they're going to provide for you. Now, these are the average salaries for those who may not be aware. Let me take it a step back. This is too fast. 1 second. Okay, so for a business analyst, like the starting rate is between 30 to 40. It's higher than this, but I didn't overhype it. So some companies will pay as low as 30 for entry level, and some companies will pay as low as high as 40,000 for maybe if you have on your CV 1 to 2 years. But if you're like a mid-level entry, then you can start talking about 41, 45, 60,000. Then obviously if you're a senior, from 61,000 and above. So also product managers, the base like 35 to 47, and the mid-level is from 47 to about 70. And when I'm saying mid-level, like once you put like 3 years on your CV, this is the salary, starting salary. But they want to know that before they pay you this money, you can actually do the job. You have the practical experience. And for seniors, that's it. I don't have the salary base here for Scrum Master, but I can tell you that. So for Scrum Masters, their basic is from 45 to about 60. Their mid-level is from 60 to about 80. And senior Scrum Masters, they're looking from around 81,000 to 120,000 per annum. Now, think about it carefully. For them to pay you any of these fees, they would have tested you, interviewed you, drilled you, almost want to take your blood, because they're going to pay you something that they know that other roles don't pay junior entry levels. For you to say you're earning 35,000 in this UK, outside of tech, sometimes that's a senior role that they're paying you that 30,000, 40,000. That's a senior role. But in tech, that's like the basic. That's like the starting point. So for any role in tech, any company tech that want to pay you this, they want to ensure that you actually have the hands-on practical experience to prove it, not just the theory aspect of it. So even those people who are saying, send me the video and they don't want to participate, I will send the video to you. And I hope once you watch this video, at some point, you would be triggered to go and actually do these documentations yourself, because once you get a job, that's what you'll be doing on your job. Now, there are 4 parts to this entire program. They have section 1, section 2, 3, and 4. All this we discussed today. And if time permits, we can pretty much start working in our JIRA today. That's if time permits. If time doesn't permit, then we start that. That'll be the first thing we're going to start tomorrow for tomorrow's class. So I'll talk about what a project is, what an IT project means, who a PM is, who a BA is, who a Scrum Master is, the documents you all create within your individual roles, the tools you need to know how to use within your individual roles, and the project team members. How do you interact and collaborate with your team members? I'll talk about that. The other thing I'll talk about is the tools, as I've said, what to use those tools for, the documents you create within those tools, and what those documents mean. Why are you creating this document? What does the document, what's the impact of that document to a project? I'll explain all of that. The other part is something called the project lifecycle, or PLC. For those people specifically who are going into project management or Scrum Master, this part is very paramount to you. But we're explaining it, the terminologies, who a stakeholder is, all the basics that you need to know from a project manager's and Scrum Master standpoint. I'll explain it. And the 4th one, because our project is an Agile project, I'll do a much deep dive into what Agile means. I'll show you what Agile means versus what waterfall means. And requirement documentation, all of this, we'll discuss this in today's training. However, in the course of this training, we will start creating documents, irrespective of the role. So if I'm discussing something that relates to project management or for project managers, I will say, project managers, listen up, this is for you. That does not mean if you're interested in business analysis or Scrum Master, you should not listen. That's the essence of why we are having this combined class. So even if your initial role you want to face is business analysis, yes, you learn what you need to know as a business analyst, but you also need to know what your team members are doing because you don't work by yourself, you work as a team. If your reason of coming here is because of project management, yes, I'll teach you what project managers are expected to do. Hannah, 1 minute, I'll come to you, I can see your hand. I'll explain to you what project managers are supposed to do, and I also have to explain to you how you as a project manager lead your team. Because project manager, they have their role, and they have the managerial aspect, and they have the one where they lead the team. For business analysts, yes, I'll teach you who a BA is, what you are supposed to do by yourself, and I'll also teach you how to engage and collaborate with the team members and with the stakeholders from the business. Scrum Master, you are the one that hold the Agile principles. I will teach you what that means and how to navigate an Agile project. Okay, now section 1. Let me throw this question out there. And before I do, Hannah, your hands are raised. How can I help?
Yes, good morning. Yes, sorry, you talked about Jira. Is Jira an app? Do we have to download it or pay for it?
You have to pay for it. It's not free.
Okay.
There's a free version of Jira. Now, the free version of Jira is not what companies use. Companies use the enterprise version, which has all the major functions or buttons. Let me use buttons for now, but it's called functionalities or capabilities. But all the functions within Jira, it's in the enterprise version, which is the one that I'm saying that you need to have access to. That's the one you need to know how to use. The free version doesn't give you everything. And if you have the free version, you can't see what we are doing and we can't see what you are doing. I can't admit anyone else because we're about to start now. I hope that answers your question, Hannah. When we get able to, we need to start working on Jira. I'll share the link for everyone to gain their access. But for now, I'm still introducing to what it is that we're doing today. When we get to that point, we'll cross it. But I'm just letting you all know the importance of having that practical experience. It's not compulsory, like I always say. Everyone is running their race. The money is not coming to me. It's going to Jira. You're paying for Jira. I'm doing this training for free. But you need to have access to Jira at the barest minimum because you're not necessarily paying for this training. So at least that will be the best thing to help you. Now, let me ask a question. Thanks for that question, Hannah.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. What is a project? Now, me asking this question, please put yourselves on mute. I'm hearing echoes, please. Please, can you put yourselves on mute, please? I'm not sure whose mic is on. Please, can everyone please check that your mic is on?
Sorry to interrupt. There's someone I think that put it in the chat that he's going to connect with his laptop. That you should please admit him. Assigned to God.
What's the person's name?
From the chat, it's assigned to God. I think assigned to God or something.
Okay, please can you send the link to assigned? Okay. Assigned to God. Let me look for the person.
Thank you.
No worries. The only two people here are Jane and Dora. Can't pronounce that. Maybe when he joins, that's fine. He can join. When he joins, I'll look for that name. Assigned to God. I'll look for that. All right. Now, what is a project? This question, before you think too far, before you start thinking on one, no, come back home. A project is anything that has a starting point and a finishing point. I mean, anything that has a starting point and a finishing point is a project. Now, in order to have the starting point and in order to get to this finishing point, there are certain things you must do in between to get to this finishing point. Let me give you an instance, getting to work. For those of you that are currently working, it doesn't matter the type of job you're doing, going to work, we can categorize that as a project. Why? Because you have a starting point and the finishing point is getting to work at a particular time. You know, if you get to work too late, there could be consequences for that. So you are going to target getting to work at least at a specific time. Now, in order to get to work at a specific time, there are certain things in between here you have to do. In fact, some of them you can do without, some of them you must do. I'll explain. Now, I want to believe no one here lives on the streets. We all live somewhere. Even you're squatting with a friend, with families, you're paying in a shed. It doesn't matter. You rest your head somewhere. Let's start from that place. I don't know who HP is. If that's him, I'm not sure, but I can't admit that person just yet. Who raised their hand? Who's this? Okay. Now, a project, like I said, has a starting point and a finishing point. And there's specific things in between that you may, or some of them you must do in order to get to that finishing point. Now, take for instance, what are the things you need to do to get to work? Obviously, as I said, there's somewhere you rest your head. You wake up from that place. There's a specific time you want to wake up. Maybe you have to set your alarm. So you wake up at a specific time. So for those people who do prayers, they pray. Those people who don't pray, they just jump into the shower, they shower. Some people don't iron their outfits that day. Some people don't do breakfast and take their breakfast with them. Some people eat breakfast and they'll prepare lunch packed with them. There are specific things you do while you are still at home. In a situation whereby you woke up very late, probably at the time that like to watch the news, you have to skip that part. But you want to have a shower quickly and at least brush your teeth, do your grooming, eat or do your pack lunch, whatever it is you want to do. Some of those activities you do at home, some are important, some are not necessarily important. If you have time, you do some of those. But you see, coming out of that house, you must come out of the house because you can't stay from your house and be going to work, except you're working in a remote room. Even if you're working in a remote room, you still have to physically carry your laptop and log in and do what you need to do. But I'm talking about if you have to get to work, like physically get to work. You woke up, you did what you need to do at home, you're out of the house. Now, certain people, his name is someone that I've been here before. I don't know. Is this Juliana the person? I'm not sure. That's why I don't like admitting people once we start the class because it interrupts the class. I don't know now. Okay. Now, once you're done with your grooming and you've done your lunch, you've ironed whatever it is, you have to get out of the house. If your role or where you work is close to your office or close to your home, sorry, you might say you want to walk, jog, ride a bicycle, drive down, or maybe use the bus or use the train. Let's talk about people that use the bus or use the train, those people. The bus routes, for those already in the UK that you understand what I'm saying, there are specific times the bus gets to the bus stop, or there are specific times the train gets to the platform. If you miss that particular one, it might take another 30 minutes or maybe another 10 minutes before the next one comes. Remember, there's a specific time you have to get to work. That's what you are working with. So a project has a starting point and a finishing point. There must be a finishing point for it to be seen as a project. All the things you have to do in between, some of those things, some of them are important. You must do those things. It's too important not to do. Some things, not necessarily. It's nice to do. To be nice to, do pack lunch, sit down, have a few minutes, watch the news, know what's happening out there, check the weather to know if you're carrying an umbrella or wearing boots or carrying jackets. That's nice to do. You can do those on your phone even while you're on your way to work. But you want to make sure you have the right outfit before you leave home. It might rain, use an umbrella. It might be too hot later on the day. You want to wear something that once you take off your jacket, it's not too exposed. You get what I'm trying to say for those who live in the UK? Once you come out of your home and you're at the bus stop or train station, you have to get to the bus stop or train station at a particular time because if you miss it, the next one might come late, and that particular one you missed is the right one you're supposed to get onto so you can get to work at a specific time. There are different companies out there, and some companies are more, should I use the word wicked or strict compared to others. Some companies, 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, they will not really say anything. But imagine coming to some companies that if you're 1 minute late like this, they've deducted from your salary. You don't want to go to that kind of work late. In fact, they'll not even penalize you. They'll just be taking your money. It's you yourself that will quickly go to that work and not get there late. And in some other companies, they won't tamper with your finances or your salary or your wages, but they always start saying, why did you come late? One manager somewhere will start pressurizing you and putting their eyes on you, shining torchlight on you for no reason. You don't want that. So when I'm saying a project has a starting point and a finishing point, I want you to take your mind that it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. As long as a starting point, that thing has to have a finishing point. Let me give another example we can relate with. Doing the laundry at home or doing the laundry in the laundrette. There are specific things. The end goal for that project, the end result of that project is getting to work. That's the first example I gave. This example, second example I'm giving, the end result is to have clean laundry. Yes, raise hands.
Yes, sorry, can you let me in on my laptop? The volume is really low on this phone.
What's your name?
Iswat.
Your what?
Iswat.
I can't see your name on the waiting room. Are you the one?
Iswat is...
No, what
okay.
I'm saying, I've seen you. Sorry, I have seen you.
Okay.
I've added, I've admitted you. Yeah. Okay. So a project is anything that has a starting point and a finishing point. Getting the laundry done can be seen as a project. Number one, even back in the olden days, you still have to use soap. These days, modernity has come, modernization has come to play. We now have washing machines. That washing machine, you can't just be thinking about washing machine, washing your clothes, and automatically the washing machine starts washing your clothes. The washing machine is not going to go and bring the clothes. You have to go and put the clothes. These are things you must do. You have to put the clothes in the washing machine yourself. You have to check the setting, depending on the type of fabric in the washing machine. Some type of fabric, you can't use some type of soap to wash it. You have to set it. Aside from that, you must have electricity. You must have water connected to that washing machine, because if they don't connect the washing machine properly, water won't go in there. The end result is making sure that you have clean laundry. In fact, in some cases like me, I separate colored from white. In fact, those colors, I see separate colors from colors. I use color catcher to wash. Like, there are specific things you have to do. You don't want to go and wash clothes that run or will stain your whites in the same washing machine. You have to separate them. Those are tasks that you are doing in the middle. So in the beginning, project manager, Scrum Master, please listen up. When they assign you a project, you are in charge of the time to complete that project. As you join a company, they tell you, I give you 6 months to complete this project. They give you 1 year to complete this project. They give you 16 months to complete this project. So they give you a time to work with. So you have to plan from day 1 to month 16. And all the things that needs to be done in between here, your BA works here, developer works here, test analyst works here. In some cases, maybe test analysts, not necessarily, but they are there. Solution architects, they may be there. But you, the PM and Scrum Master, you are in charge of the timeline. You manage the time. Another thing you people do, PMs and Scrum Masters, you manage the people that do the job in the middle here. That's what this training will teach you how to do it. A project, as I said, once you have this basic understanding, every other thing will fall into play. Because when you go into a new organization, you don't know their projects. All you know is, as a product manager, I manage time. As a product manager, I manage budgets. As a product manager, I will manage the people that will work with me. I don't know who they are yet, but I'll manage them. As a product manager, I have to manage the stakeholders' expectation. I have to be able to engage with them. I have to be able to find out what do they want and see how my team can give them what they want. That is your job as a product manager. As a Scrum Master, you're managing the timeline. You're managing all the documents, each of these people here that work on that project, the documents each of them will create. You have to make sure that they do good documents. They call it governance. Produce good documents that have high quality governance. That's what you guys do. PM and Scrum Master, you are in charge of the timeline. However you want to use that timeline out, all the company knows is, you see that at the end, if they give you 12 months, you see at the end of that 12 months, that project must be completed. At the end of that 12 months, that's what you people do. So once you have the understanding of what a project is, it will be easier for you to work with any organization. Let me give you an instance. I'm a mom of 2 kids. I have a boy and a girl. My daughter is 10. My son is now 7, but he'll be 8 by the grace of God next month. If I intend to maybe go on holiday, go on vacation, or I just want to have some time to, it's a stressful life away from family and friends and kids and everybody. I just want to be myself. I need to go get like a childminder to help me. And now the childminder that I will be employing, that person must have previous experience looking after kids. That person I'm going to bring into the picture. Yes, hands raised. Who is that again? Who has a question, please? Dieta, your hands are raised? No?
Hello. Yes, they are raised. Sorry, Essay. Sorry.
Hi, Dieta.
Please, sorry, please. OD is in the waiting room. Sorry, please. She will not disturb. She won't disturb. She will not ask any questions to interrupt you, please. OD is in the waiting room, please.
Who's
please.
Obi?
Audion.
Oh, Audion. All right.
Audion. Yes, please. She will not disturb. She can ask plenty questions. She will not ask any question, please. Please, thank you.
We don't want someone taking us back. That's why
she won't take you back. She won't take you back. Please accept that, please. Thank you.
It's okay. That's fine.
Thank you.
All right. So let me use myself as an example. I have 2 kids, as I've said. I'm going on holiday away from the kids. If I want to bring a childminder to help me with my kids, I want to make sure somebody who has previous experience looking after kids. I might go a bit further and say, do you have maybe what they call those certificates now. Those ones for people that do child minding. There's a certificate they have. I'll ask, bring your certificates. I might even want to go further and say, I need a reference from people you've done babysitting for. I might want to go dig deep before I employ that person. But the bottom line is that person may even have their own children. But the way they may raise their kids, it's not the way I am raising my kids. There might be some similarities, but there will be a lot of differences. Number one, the person might not be from my culture. They might not know how to do pondo yam and eba no bono soup. And that might be the food my children like to eat. So there might be some things that I need to tell that person that this is what I'm looking for. Can you do this? If they satisfy my question, then I employ them. They have kids. Remember, they have kids. They've been doing babysitting, but they are now coming to work with me. Imagine them coming to my home and now telling me how my son is. Oh, I know your son. By 7 o'clock, I should take, he's meant to drop his iPad. By this time and this time, he's meant to read the storybook. I will be scared to employ you. How did you know my activity in my house? I don't know you. I don't know anyone that knows you. And you're telling me what I do in my house, in my home. You're telling me how my kids behave. You're telling me what my kids like or what they don't like. And I don't know you. I'm meeting for the first time. See me as a company and see that minder as a PM or a BA or a Scrum Master coming into a company and telling that company, no, they can't. It's not possible. When you go into a new organization, what you go in there with is your experience. You don't know the problem in that organization. You don't even know about the project that they're about to work on. You don't know it. But what you are going there with is your experience. I've done this project. I've done project before. From my background, I know how to manage a team. I have the experience and knowledge managing a team. This new company I'm going to, I'll manage a team in that company. I don't know who my team members are yet, but I have experience managing a team. Number two, I'm going into a new company. I know how to manage timeline because I've done timeline before. Any timeline they give to me in any previous project, I have experience managing that timeline. So if I join a new organization, they are to give me a timeline and I'll see how I can manage timeline. In me as a PM, my previous experience, I know how to do deliverables. I know the reason why I'm creating those deliverables for my project. But when I come into a new company, yes, I'll be creating deliverables for them, but I need to know what their problem is. I'm not going to go into an organization and tell them about their problem. What I am going there with is my skill sets. A surgeon, a health carer, when you meet a new patient, you don't know what that person is all about. You don't even know what their problem is yet. But you have the skill set and experience because you have done it before. So when you meet a new patient or a new service user, or if you're a surgeon, you have to operate on somebody. What is your skill set that you use there? I hope I'm making sense. A lot of people are panicking that when they go into an organization, they are somehow supposed to know. No, it's your skill set you go with. Then gradually, when you are engaging with them, speaking with them, you now start to unravel, to identify what the problem is. Then you now know how to resolve the problem. Okay, I can see chats. Please, my network is bad on my phone. I want to join my laptop. Please, what's the name? What's your name? You that said assigned to God. What is your name on your? I don't know. Wait till she sees this message before leaving, please. Okay. Please, can you send the link? I'll do that. Dora, please. Okay. Okay, Dora. I think I saw that name. 1 second. Let me see. Dora. Oh, I found you, Dora. So sorry. Just so you know. Okay. I've accepted. Hi, Essay. Please be okay. Audio. Okay. Essay, can you let Timmy in? Timmy. Okay. Timmy. Okay, Timmy's in. I don't know if she was here before, but she's in. Please, can you like acting the videos of previous classes and today's class? Monica, fine, that's fine. Yeah, I can't take note of emails now, but once the class is rounding up, then we can do that, please, because I can't take note of the email. Yeah, let me go back to what I was saying. So as a PM, as a BA, let me talk about BAs. Business analyst, your core job, your core skill. Who is familiar with IKEA? IKEA is a company that does mostly furnitures. The furnitures, they have built it the way, but it's like flat pack. They will pack it for you. You now put a manual inside it. When you get home, you now be reading that manual one by one. They say you should have 10 pieces of a screw. You should have this. You arrange it out. You have to follow it line by line so you don't miss anything. Because if you omit it, you go and build a caricature that looks like God knows what. You have to now start unscrewing it and refixing it. And those eye care packs, they're not so strong like that. Once you have screwed it, to unscrew it and now refix it, you most likely have damaged that furniture. That's why you have that manual. Now, that manual is written by somebody. The person who wrote that manual may not even be the carpenter that builds that furniture. But whoever builds that furniture will tell the person writing that manual, this, you have 10 screws. That the person writing that manual writes 10 screws. We have plank A is 1. Plank A, whatever or however that furniture is, they tell that person and that person writes it down. That person writing it down is a business analyst. The business analyst doesn't know how to even fix that wood or the bed. They don't know. It's somebody that fixed or created the wood is telling the BA what to write down. And the BA is writing it down. That thing that writing down is called requirements. Business analysts, when you go into an organization, you don't know the requirements, but you should have the skill set of writing requirements. You write your requirements as user stories and acceptance criteria. You have to learn it, which I will teach you how to write. So we'll give you the requirements and you write it down as user stories and acceptance criteria. Every business analyst must know how to use Jira to write requirements. Every product manager must know how to use Jira to do the timeline, to do the budgeting, to do the PID, to do the scope of work, to do the business case. You must know it, not in the theory, practically, you must know it. Scrum Masters too, you must know how to plan sprints, do the product backlog grooming, you must know it. Business analysts, you must know how to write requirements. Developers, these are the ones that actually build the furniture. They're the ones that read the requirements before they build that furniture. That's the job of a developer. Developer was not there when BA was writing it. All developer is going with, all developer will need is that requirement. That's what they read. Then they'll say, okay, step 1, this, and they will build a perfect structure because they followed the requirements line by line. As a BA, PM, Scrum Master, Dev, whatever it is that is you're doing, when you go into a new organization, when they employ you, you cannot go and be telling them their problem. They are to give you their problem and you find a way to resolve it based on your experience. Okay? Now, an IT project, everything I've been saying, an IT project is the same. An IT project within the IT team, you have the business analyst, you have Scrum Masters, and sometimes the product manager and the Scrum Master is one person. Sometimes, because companies want to save money and they will pay the one person to do both jobs. Sometimes the product manager and the business analyst is the same person. When it's time to wear the PM hats, to become a PM, you wear the hats, you do PM duties. When it's time to wear the hats for BA, you wear the BA hats and you do your BA role. So sometimes I always recommend, don't just learn. That is why we do these combined classes. So at least you can add, if your initial interest was product management, you can, and you now join this class, you hear about Scrum, you can add PM and Scrum to your CV. At least, you don't know, it's not only one thing. They're now like you can do 2 things. And I'm going to explain that why that is good in a minute. If a product manager, if that's your focus and you hear about business analysis and you've participated in all the tasks, you can add that to your CV. Oh, I'm a PM, but also have BA experience. Now, let me tell you how budgeting works. In organizations, they might want to employ a product manager. As a contractor, a PM, for a junior PM, maybe on £450 per day. As a contractor for Scrum Master, as a junior, maybe your daily rate is maybe £550, or let's just say £500 per day. So if that company was to employ 2 people, they'll pay the product manager £450, they'll pay Scrum Master £500. That means that company is going to spend £950 to employ these 2 people every day. Now, if you, as an individual on your CV, you say you have product manager experience and Scrum Master experience, they will pay you £750. To you, it's more than your normal fee because you have the PM experience and Scrum Master experience and you can verify you have the experience. They will pay you £750. For that company, to them, they are saving extra 200 because if they've employed 2 people, they would have spent 950 pounds to pay those 2 people. But now they're only employing 1 person who can do both, and they're paying you maybe 650, 750. To them, they are saving money. They'll be happy to employ people like that because they are saving money. That's why I'm saying if you can put dual roles that are related on your CV, it makes you more desirable. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? None? Okay, 1 second.
I have a question, please, Essay.
Go on, Sadatu.
Okay. You talked about being a PM and BA. So if I'm employed to an organization as both PA and BA, so when it comes to Jira, is it the same person that will set up the board and still write the requirements and
Yes.
okay.
Well, you know,
okay.
I heard about setting up Jira board, but have you joined any of our classes before? Oh, Sadatu.
Yes.
Because the terms you are using, set up the Jira board, I'm thinking,
Yes. Yes.
Yes. It's the same person. When it's time for you to play your PM role, where you set up a Jira board, you do that. When it's time for you to set up Jira board, you raise your tickets, and for you to create a user story, that's where your BA comes in. Then you create a user story. So yes, you're right, Sadatu. Yes, you're correct. Okay, dogs, let's go on. Who is now a project manager, and what are their key roles and responsibilities? I've been saying it since. The project manager, when you join any organization, you must be joining that organization from a place of understanding that you already have some experience from your previous job. Project managers have 2 main things. There are 2 main things they do. In fact, there are 3 main things they do. 3. The first one is their documents. They have some documents they must create. Another thing is they manage the project team, meaning everybody that work on that project, they manage that person. Excuse me. That means they will tell that person when they need to go and create documents. They will give instructions to that person. Go and do this, go and do that. If you don't have previous experience and you're going into a new company, how would you be able to dictate to them what to do? How will you manage your team if you don't have previous experience? The third thing that product managers also do is they manage the expectation of the company. You are bringing me in. I will have to make sure that I'm going to say, look, this is what I know. I won't lie to you. This is what I can do. So at least don't go and expect too much from me. If I've overlaid on my CV and I make some mistakes, that is the end of my role in that organization because they are trusting me. When they say budgets of a project, they won't put like the millions in your account because to run the project, sometimes you are managing project worth 500,000 pounds, 700,000 pounds, 1 million pounds. They won't put that money in your bank account, but that money will be with the finance company in that organization. But it is you. You have so much power as a PM to authorize, please pay Sadatu. She works Monday to Friday. If you don't authorize that, they won't pay Sadatu. You have to authorize it. That's so much power you have. So aside managing your documents, aside managing the team, you're managing stakeholders' expectation. They will give you that money maybe every week, some companies every week, some companies every 2 weeks, some companies every once a month. Come and explain to them how you're spending that money. If you misuse that money, they'll take legal actions against you. If you've not done this before, how can you go and manage millions of pounds worth of projects? Please don't put yourself in trouble. Make sure you gain that experience first. Gain it, do internship. I'm not saying do internship with me. Go and do it with somebody else. If you don't want to do it with me, it's fine. But you must get that experience. You need it. Because if a junior PM brings their CV for an interview and a senior PM brings their CV for an interview, both of you might get the job. You get a senior PM job, you get a junior BA job. You see the mistake a junior will make? They'll never look at you 2 times. In fact, they will even teach you on the job and correct you on the job. If a senior PM makes that same mistake, that's trouble. Number one, first thing first, that's the last day of your job, your work in that organization. So I always recommend to people, if you are doing your CV by yourself, make sure you don't overlie. That years of experience, don't overhype it. Don't try it. Because yes, you can quickly get a job if you're a senior. When they will shine touchlight on you, when they are watching what you are doing, they're paying you 90,000 and you want to go and do job works for a junior PM. Number one, you lose your job. They'll take legal actions against you to retrieve the money back, plus compensation. You will compensate them. So please, if you're not doing your CV for you, that is fine. If you're doing your CV yourself, please remember, don't overhype your CV. 2-3 years is okay. In fact, it's okay. Don't do more than 3 years on your CV. Don't. Because when you start going beyond 3 years, you're no longer a junior or mid-level. You're going towards slightly towards senior somehow. Don't try it. But anyways, the PM does 3 major things. They manage their own documentations or their deliverables. Remember, documents, deliverables, artifacts is the same thing. In interviews, they might want to throw you off balance. They'll ask you, what artifact have you created as a product manager? You're thinking, artifact. I don't know that one. PM. Artifact means documents. Okay, Mira was here before, I think. Artifact means documents. Deliverables means documents. Document means artifacts. Documents means deliverables. It's the same thing. They just call it different words, all right? So they can ask you in an interview, what deliverables have you created as a PM? You should know how to explain that. So I've said here that you understand what it is, the manage stakeholders' expectation, because you need to understand what their problem is. You're also creating your document, and you're managing your project team. You're managing the team. It's called project team. That is the key role of a project manager. Now, the key role of a Scrum Master. You work in Agile projects. Your key role is to make sure that every time they are planning a sprint, that sprint is not too long. I'll explain all this when we start the practical, so don't overstress yourself, but just hear me out. Anytime they're planning a set of tasks, a set of tasks that we want to do. For instance, waking up in the morning and the objective or the project delivery is getting to work. There's some set of tasks you have to do while you are still at home. And there's specific things you must do before you get to work. While you are home, part of the tasks you have to do is getting ready. You have to have your shower, brush your teeth, your personal hygiene. Some for men, maybe they shave, whatever. Women might do want to do your makeup. Once you're done with that, some people want to go and iron their clothes. Some people want to eat breakfast at home. They'll do scrambled eggs, sausages, toast, whatever it is they eat. Some people just black coffee they want. Whatever it is, they get that sorted. Sometimes as a routine, some people are so into routines that maybe they say 5-10 minutes, they check the weather, they check what's happening on BBC, they just check the news, just to see what's happening out there before they step out. That's some people's activity. Those are tasks. Now, if you wake up really late, you know that some of those tasks, you may not be able to complete some of them. That's what I'm talking about as a Scrum Master. You plan the sprint, you plan and confirm the set of tasks you want to do from when to when. If you wake up late, you know you can't do some things. But if you wake up a bit early, you have all the time in the world to do everything you normally usually do, and maybe even stroll to the station. You don't have to run to the station because you still have time. So Scrum Master, you plan sprints, you groom the backlogs, you organize daily stand-ups, you uphold the Agile principles. That's what you do as a Scrum Master, okay? You don't necessarily manage stakeholders' expectation. That's not your business, but you create your own documents as well. Any questions before I move to the next slide? Any questions about what a project is, what an IT project manager does, and who a Scrum Master is? Any question around that? No?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead, please.
So what exactly is the difference between a project manager and a Scrum Master?
Project managers manages the team as a whole. Project managers manages stakeholders' expectation in that company. Project managers will speak with the stakeholders to ask them, what is the problem? So we know what to do to fix it. Scrum Masters, they come after the PM have done all of that. Once the PM have identified the key problems, the scope of work, what are we actually doing for this project? Once the PM or project manager have identified that, then they start planning the tasks that they need to do to complete that project. Scrum Master comes in at the time when those tasks have been agreed. That's when they now plan sprints to say, okay, do you know what? This is the first task you have to do. This is the next task you have to do. That's the fourth task you have to do. PMs speak to stakeholders to understand the scope. PMs create the documents for the entire project. PMs manages the team. Scrum Master they don't manage team. They uphold the Agile principles, governance, making sure that if a BA have created their stories are good stories. Because there's something called good story. I'm going to explain what's that in a minute, but there's something called good requirement. See that document I was talking about with IKEA? That I explained that, you see, BAs write the manual. So you have to read that manual to build the furniture, the bed, or the table. Scrum Masters make sure that that manual is a good manual. Scrum Master will make sure that the person building that furniture, they will give them a time. Scrum Masters will now give that person time. They manage the sprints, all the tickets, all the tasks, tickets and tasks, I'm saying the same thing, all the tasks or tickets in Jira. Scrum Master makes sure that everybody is putting timeline to say, oh, I'm going to finish this in 2 days or in 1 day. Scrum Master will make sure that when they have meetings every day, those meetings they do every day is called daily stand-up. Scrum Master is one that actually makes sure that everybody in that meeting is saying what their problem is. Because during a sprint, when they've assigned everybody tasks, so you do this, you do this, you do this, we now have a meeting every day. That meeting every day, we call it daily stand-up. Under Agile principle, that meeting should not more than 15 minutes. That's not the meeting they're going to be saying, oh, I got to work late. Oh, I woke up late. Oh, I didn't eat breakfast. Oh, how are you? How was your day? No. In daily stand-ups, that's not what they discuss. In daily stand-up, what they discuss in that meeting is, they gave you a task yesterday. Have you finished your task? Are you having any issues or impediments? Impediments means issues or problem. Anything that will disturb you or prevent you from finishing the task, they call it impediment. Have you got any impediments? That's what they discuss in the daily stand-up meeting. This meeting we are doing this can be a daily stand-up meeting. They call it daily stand-up because prior to COVID, everybody stands up, like you stand up like this in that meeting. Nobody's sitting down. You stand up for 15 minutes, quick, like everybody, okay, what did you do yesterday? Do you have any impediments? No, you're fine. You, what did you do yesterday? Do you have any impediments? No. Do you have any issues? No. Like that's what they do in daily stand-up. It's the Scrum Master that manages that meeting, not the project manager. But a lot of times, companies will employ one person to play the role of a Scrum Master and project manager. That's why this training is good for you. You are getting 2 in 1, if that's where your area of focus. I hope that I don't know who asked that question, but I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. Business analyst. Listen up, this is for you. I know I've been talking about BA in between, but I want to focus this on you. Now, a business analyst is that person who goes into an organization without knowing what the requirements are. You don't know the requirements. I gave an example of, for instance, I'm going out. I want to have maybe girls' night out with my friends. I'm just sick and tired of work, husband, family, kids. I just want to be away from all of them. And I go get a minder to help babysit while I'm away. Maybe my partner too wants to go to his own boys' night out. The kids can't be left by themselves. We need to get like a minder, someone to come and help us look after them while we are away. The minder we are going to get, that person may even have kids of her own. As in, she might even have more kids than me. I only have 2. She might have 4. So in the sense of it, she might even be more experienced as a mother compared to me. Not necessarily, but in some cases, because she has 4. So she has experience of dealing with boys, girls of certain ages. So if I have to employ such a minder, I'll ask her questions. The minder will not come to me. In this case, the BA is the minder. In this example I'm giving, the business analyst is that minder. Me, in this example, I am the company. I'm the stakeholder in that company. I won't go and bring you, the minder, and you are the one telling me how to look after my children in my own home. I don't know if that makes sense. The minder is supposed to listen to me, telling them what I want. My son from 7, don't allow him to have his iPad. He might want to cry and beg and be sweet and be cuddly. Oh, you look nice. Your hair look nice, auntie. Don't mind the sweet talk. 7 o'clock, take iPad. In fact, go and off the Wi-Fi. If he doesn't want to put iPad down, go off Wi-Fi, auntie. All his games need internet, off Wi-Fi. I'll tell her where Wi-Fi is. I'm telling her the things she needs to do while I'm away. That information I'm giving to her is requirement. She will be taking note of it. She writes it down. BAs, they go into an organization, they meet with the stakeholders. Now, those stakeholders that they are meeting, it's not you that will choose who a stakeholder is. The PM have already identified and selected the stakeholders. When you now join, the PM will give you a list called stakeholders list. These are the people you need to go and be speaking to. These are the people you need to go and get requirements from. You go and do stakeholder management. What is stakeholder management? So, hi, my name is Sadatu. I'm the new BA. You are one of the names on my stakeholders list. How do you want me to be booking meetings with you so you can give me requirements? Do you want to come to you in the office? Are you okay with us having our meetings online? The stakeholder will tell you, I'd like come to the office every Wednesday. My meetings with you should be every Wednesday. And you must be going to that office every Wednesday. If the stakeholder is saying, oh, I don't mind, my meeting can be online, but I have my normal 9-to-5 job, but I have a window on Fridays from 10 to 12. Then you have to book meeting with that particular person from 10 to 12. BAs, you go into an organization with your own experience you already have. You can't enter a new organization and you are the one telling that organization what their requirements needs to be. No, they will tell you the requirements. Your job is to write it down. The job of a BA is so simple. Very simple. If you have the mindset of it is simple, believe me, it is simple. Because you have the experiences you should have is how to write requirements in Jira, how to raise tickets in Jira. Now you've booked your meetings. They've given you requirements. How do you write that requirement in Jira? How do you write user stories and acceptance criteria? How do you write it? You need to learn it. You need to know how to use Jira to write it. You need to know where in Jira you are writing it into. That's the skill set you take with you to a new company. Other documents you create also for business analysts is something called process flow mapping or process flow document. Some people call it BPMN. Some people call it as is to be. Some people call it customer journey. Some people call it process flow mapping. Some people call it process flow. They call it all sorts of names. As is to be, customer journey, user experience is the same thing, but it's a particular document. You need to know how to create that document as well. You need to know how to use the tools. Some people use Microsoft Visio. Some people use Glyphy. Some people use Miro board. Some people use Visual Paradigm. Visual Paradigm is what I teach people. I teach you how to use that tool because Visual Paradigm is similar to Microsoft Visio. Not even similar. It's better than Microsoft Visio, better than Miro board, better than Glyphy, all combined. Visual Paradigm gives you that. And that's what I used to teach. That one is free. Don't pay for it because I'll give you the online version, which is free, which is the highest version. It is free. They don't charge for it. So I'll show you how to go about getting the link. Those two documents, the people who don't know how to do any document as a BA, those two, very important. Another document that you might, I will teach you, even though it's not necessarily your document, is scope of work. I will teach you how to do budgeting. I'll teach you how to, when I'm saying teach, I'll teach you because I expect you to participate. I'll teach you how to do PID, all the PM documents. Should in case for you might want to put on your CV, I have PM and BA experience. I'll teach you what the documents PMs create, you will learn it as well. Documents you yourself, BAs create, you will learn it as well. I'll teach you all of that. All right. Now, PM, BA, Scrum Master, you are the three key people I'm dealing with today. I know there's someone who says she's test. I think there's two people that they are internet test analysts, but they say they also want to join because as a team, you work with everybody. PMs, BAs, Scrum Masters, developers, test analysts, social architects. These 6 people, you are a team in an IT project. All of you report into somebody called a program manager. Test analysts, you might have a senior test lead. BAs, you might have a senior BA. PMs, you might have a senior PM. But all those seniors, you all report into the program manager. Okay? Program manager, they don't do anything. and they are the highest paid. Some program managers get £900 per day. But before you get to a program manager level, you must have done at least BAPM Scrum, at least. You must have done those 3 before you can become a program manager. You must have paid your dues. There are no shortcuts to this thing. If you think you get a job in 2 months, I will tell you today it's impossible. Except the job you are getting, they are not paying you. You are going there for like intern. They'll pay you just your transport. Because no company will pay you 30,000, 40,000 to come and be learning on the job. They'll only employ you as an intern and they'll pay you a stipend for your transport and maybe your lunch. They won't pay you full salary. Depending on how you do well, after 1 year, then yes, they cannot be paying maybe 27, 30. That's after 1 year. And those roles are hard to come by. Even with those roles that you're not really doing much, they're not paying you much, they will use you to your blood is going to dry. Because you want to learn you want to enter IT, they will use you very well. This is a much easier way. You are still going to go through the process, but here is a much easier way to learn it. So once you are landing your first job, you are getting a proper job. Okay? So PMBA Scrum Master, this session, today, tomorrow, next week, Saturday, next Sunday, learn and absorb as much as possible. Please, literally. After this, even if you don't want to do internship with us or you don't want to do internship somewhere else, you can put what you've learned on your CV as a junior and you can start, getting jobs, applying for jobs. If you know you don't want to do full-blown, make sure your CV is 1 year CV. If you know it's only this training you want to put on your CV, 1 year. And you have to join the CV review class. I hold several classes. It's free, please. CV review class, I'll teach you. We did one this week. I've done too many classes. I don't even know what I've done again. I think I did one early this week. I'm not too sure. CV, there's specific mistakes we make on our CVs that hinders us from progressing to the next stage that we don't even know. I've taught that before. I do that once or twice a month. Make sure you attend one of those classes. See, when I'm saying these things, I'm not saying come and do it with me. These are the things you need to be doing. So if you know someone doing it for you, go and meet them to do it. Do your CV properly. Your name, I've explained all this thing before, how your name should appear, how you should be arranged. Make sure you do that CV properly. If you know there's only this training you want to do, I go and start applying. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Once you're done with this training, go and do your CV yourself. If you come to me, I'll charge you 150. But go and look for who did for you. But if you know you want to do your CV yourself, join that CV class so you can follow what I said there to do your own CV. But make sure it's 1 year you put. Because the training here is not enough. Internship is where you get the proper training because there, anyways, let me leave that. Do your CV, do your LinkedIn. Your CV and whatever you have on LinkedIn must match your CVs. Recruiters check out LinkedIn, yes. So once you are done with your CV, go and do your LinkedIn, optimize it. Make sure what you have put on your CV matches your LinkedIn. Now, when you are applying, there are specific things you need to do before you apply. One part is make sure you have a good CV. The other part is applying. There are specific things you must do before you apply. Thank God for AI. Now we use AI to help optimize CV. I'm having an interview preparation class maybe next week. Please join. It's free. Join. So at least when you're applying, you stand a better chance of securing an interview. Now, that interview preparation class, I'll teach you what to do before you apply, and I'll teach you what to do after you have applied, because people don't do those things. And before you do what, you get that unfortunately email. All right. So BAs, PM, Scrum Master, you can add those. No, if you want to add Scrum Master and PM, that's fine. If you want to add PM and BA, that's fine. Don't add Scrum Master and BA, no. Scrum Master and PM. So that's Scrum Master and Product Management. You can add that to your CV. That's a good combination. Product Management and Business Analysis, that's another good combination. Please don't go and put Scrum Master, BA, PM together. They will see like you don't have enough experience in each of them because your CV cannot be more than 3 years. I keep saying the 3 years. So do you have 1 year BA, 1 year PM, and 1 year Scrum? No. PM and Scrum, good. PM and BA, good. Those are two good combinations. Any question before I proceed to the next slide?
Good morning, ma'am. Please, I have a
Good
question.
Morning. Yes, who is speaking? I'd like to know who is speaking, please.
It's Monday.
Monday. Mr. Monday.
Yes.
Oh, that's yesterday, right?
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Monday. You haven't done your Jira task yet. I've not seen
I've done all. I've done everything. I even
you tagged me?
Yes.
You tagged me. Oh, sorry. I withdraw my
But
statement.
I did it very late. I did it very late.
Okay, maybe that's why I didn't see, because I checked yesterday for those who did their own. Maybe, anyways, I'll check your task and I'll put my comments. That's very well. Thanks for participating. All right, what's your question?
Thank you, ma. My question is, when a BA received the stakeholder list from the senior business analyst, are there any specific approaches or format for conducting requirement elicitation with those stakeholders?
Okay, that's a very good question. Before you start with getting requirements, you need to do something called stakeholder management. Stakeholder management is when you are going to introduce yourself to that stakeholder. Hello, my name is SA. Hello, my name is Monday. I am the BA on your project. Your name was given to me as people that I need to speak to as a stakeholder. How do you want me to engage with you? Some stakeholders, they said, you know what? I said this earlier, but I'm happy you're asking this question again. Some stakeholders will say, you know what? Because let me tell you something. Stakeholders are normal people. Stakeholders are people from maybe HR department, finance department, risk department, customer services department. They are normal people that have their normal 9-to-5 job. The reason why they will bring people in IT to work on a project is because in a particular department, they have a challenge. In the customer services, for instance, they might want to change the customer services system. So they'll bring BAs, PMs, and everybody to come and work on that project. The stakeholders will come from the customer services department because the problem is in customer services departments. So the PM will give you a stakeholders list. Most people on that list will come from the customer services department. Remember, customer services, they have their normal 9-to-5 job. But the reason why the PM selected them to become a stakeholder is because they know the problem and they can provide requirements to fix the problem. So before you start getting them to give you requirements, you have to go and introduce yourself to them. They don't know you. My name is Monday. I'm the I'm the BA that will be engaging with you so you can give me requirements. How do you like me to set up my meeting? Do you want me to come to the office to meet you if you work in the office, or are you okay with me setting it online? They will be able to tell you that first. That's the first stage, the first step of your engagement with the stakeholder. Once they have told you, in fact, some stakeholders will tell you, you know what, I am busy all week. The only window I have, meaning the only time available that I can meet with you is Wednesday between 10 and 12. So let's our meeting be between 10 and 12. We can't use the whole 10 and 12. Meeting should be 45 minutes at least. Don't do 1 hour meeting, BAs, please. Your meeting should be 45 minutes. Even if you don't finish getting all the requirements, book another meeting. Keep booking follow-up meetings. 45 minutes meeting, please. Put that to your left-hand BAs and don't forget, 45 minutes. Once you've spoken to stakeholder, to the stakeholder management, to know how to engage with them, they will tell you, this thing I'm saying, it's not as if you're going to meet them physically. You're going to send an email to them. Because on that stakeholders list, you have the stakeholder's name, and a good PM will give you the stakeholder's email address. The stakeholders will give you a bit of information about who all the stakeholders are. So you as a BA, you take one of the stakeholders, take the email address, send them an email. Hi, my name is Monday. I'm the new BA on this project. I would like to find out how best you want me to engage with you. So I know the days and times you are open for meetings. There is no right or wrong way to do this approach. You just send an email. The bottom line of that email you are sending Monday is so that you are notifying them that, look, from time to time, you need to give me requirements. But before you start giving requirements, I want to make sure that I am booking these meetings on days you are available. There are so many people that would love to have been in this training, but they are work. But at least I have put announcements out there. They already know that, there's a training going on, but they cannot afford to be here because they have to go to work. So what they tend to do is they'll reach out to me privately and say, please send me the video. Send me the Jira link. I will pay for Jira. So as I'm watching your video, I am doing the same thing. Do you understand? That's how it is done. I hope that answers your question Monday. So once you've confirmed the dates and the time, how they want you to speak to them, then you book your meetings in that time you are both agreed. Then you go to those meetings to get your requirements. Does that answer your question, Monday?
Yes, ma'am.
Please call me Essay. Stop saying call me Essay.
Oh, okay, Essay, okay.
Call me Essay, please. All right. Any other question before I proceed? Any other question? No question? Okay. Now, this diagram I'm showing you is just the diagram of how the structure looks like in an IT team. If you're going to be working on a large project, most likely for business analysts, you most likely have a senior BA, which all of you all report to. So you see this part here, there'll be a senior BA. See, can everyone see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can.
See where my cursor is? You see where my cursor is surrounding on my mouse? This part here, there'll be a senior BA here. If there's a senior BA, every BA will now report to that senior BA. The same thing for developers. Not name was helpful. Developers as well. There might be a senior developer, which all the other junior developers report into. So also for test analysts or QA engineers, they'll have a senior QA engineer. Project managers too, they might have a senior PM, but most times they don't. They will assign one PM to a project. The PM, you report to someone called the program manager. So in an interview, if they start suspecting something you're saying is not right, they'll ask, who do you report to? In some cases for BAs, you might be reporting directly to the PM if there's no senior BA. You cannot go and say things that you report to your developer or report to test analyst or report to program manager. Don't know you're lying. As a BA, if there's no senior or lead BA on your project, it means you're automatically reporting to the project manager. So also developers, so also test analysts. If you're going in as a Scrum Master or as a project manager, they will ask you, who was your direct report? It's either there's a senior Scrum Master or a senior PM. If not, there was no senior, then you are reporting directly to the project lead or program manager. I hope this makes sense. Any question with regards to the organogram charts, the hierarchy?
Please, I'm Dora.
Dora, yes, question.
So is it possible that a BA as well as the junior BA and the senior BA will all be in the same organization, that they can employ them at the same time?
Of course. The reason why they will employ, most times they could have either or both. They can have only a junior BA on a project, or they could have a senior BA on the same project. Now, if you're a senior BA, most likely you work on more than one project. So sometimes when they see that that senior BA is struggling, not because they don't know how to do it, but they have too much to do, then they can employ someone as a junior BA to support the senior BA. Does that make sense, Dora?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So in an organization, they can have different projects. There can be a project for customer services departments to help them fix the problem with customer services. There can be another project with the HR department because there's a HR problem. There can be another project in the accounting department because there's an accounting issue. There can be another project in the fraud department because the fraud system has an issue that needs to be resolved. Different things could be going on, and they'll have different teams working on several different projects. Okay? All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Let me keep going on. Section 2. Now, I would like to go a bit more into the tools every PM needs to know how to use. This is for PMs, BAs, and Scrum Master. At least know how to use Excel a bit. Not that you're going to use it, but let it be on your CV. And if you want to go and learn how to use Excel, the basic is fine. Know how to use Microsoft Word, at least. In an Agile project, you will not use Microsoft Word, but it's good to be on your CV. All the old Microsoft Office tools, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, let it be on your CV. Then the two most common tools every PM or Scrum Master must know how to use is Jira and Confluence. I'll be teaching you about how to use these tools and how to create documents in them. These tools, if you're saying you're a PM and you don't have Jira experience, then you're not ready to get a job. Just listing on your CV is not enough, because these days, the type of interviews they do, they will give you case studies. They'll give you tasks and they'll tell you, do it in Jira. If you don't already know how to use Jira, you wouldn't know how to do those tasks. You need to know how to use Jira on your own. Like, you know what this button does, how to do this here, how not, you know what everything is. So no matter the task they give to you, once you read the task, you know exactly what to do with Jira. PMs and Scrum Master, and also BAs, you need to know how to use Jira and Confluence. Now, for BAs, the additional tool you need to know how to use is a tool that you use to do your process diagram. Now, there are different tools that you can use to do process diagram. You got Microsoft Visual, Lucidchart, I wrote Lucidchart twice, Lucidchart, Glyphy, Miroboard, then Visual Paradigm. Visual Paradigm is a combination of all these tools. That is one I use to teach. So you need to know how to use Jira as a BA. You need to know how to use Confluence as a BA. You need to know how to use Microsoft Visual as a BA, or Glyphy, or Lucidchart, or Visual Paradigms. A tool for document, for process creation. You must know how to use 3. Jira, Confluence, Visual Tools. Okay? For PMs, there's a tool called Microsoft Projects. That tool is specific to manage the timeline. But what's happening now is a lot of companies don't want to spend money on Jira and spend money on Microsoft Projects. So that same timeline, you can do it in Jira. For those that did a Jira class yesterday, I'm sure you remember what I'm talking about, the timeline, how long a particular task should start and when that task should finish. You can do it in Jira, which I'll be teaching everybody. Okay? The documents PMs must know how to create in Jira and Confluence. You must know how to do project scope of work in Confluence. You must know how to do PID in Confluence. You must know how to do the roadmap or project plan in Jira. You must know how to do your budgeting in Confluence. You must know how to do RACI matrix in Confluence. You must know how to do red log in Confluence. You must know how to do your status reports in Confluence. You must know how to do change request in Confluence. You must know how to do it. These are documents PMs create. You must know how to create this in Confluence. Okay, chat, please, would like the video. Okay, can we say Scrum Master is the mother hen? No, there's nothing like mother hen. Who asked that? Medina? No, you can't say that, because we all work together as a team. There's no one that is more superior than the other. Everyone has specific important roles they play. If a Scrum Master is not in a project, as long as you have a product manager, that project will still go ahead. But if they have a Scrum Master and that Scrum Master does not know how to become a PM, then that project will fail. So answering your question, I can't say Scrum Master is the mother hen, but however, Scrum Master is one of the highest paid in the project team than solutions architects. They pay them, if it's a contract role, they can pay a solution architect £1,000 per day, £900 per day, maybe a junior solution architect, £700 per day. Scrum Master, maybe 700 to 1,000. Let's just say 700, 650, 700. Product managers, 500. In terms of the financial aspect, yes, Scrum Master earns mostly more than product managers. However, in terms of the value, PMs are more valuable than a Scrum Master, because if a Scrum Master is only performing Scrum Master role, they can't manage the team. It's not a Scrum Master that will give the BA stakeholders list. It's not a Scrum Master that will go and speak to business to tell them what are the problems so that we can create tasks. Scrum Masters don't create tasks in Jira. That's not their job. Their job is to make sure that there's task created. Their job is to make sure that a project board is created. Their job, Scrum Master's job, is to make sure that when they're doing planning their sprint, they plan sprint well. Scrum Master's job is they groom the backlog well. When they're doing daily stand-up, that meeting does not exceed 15 minutes. It's the project manager that does the work, PM. So in that regard, without a PM, a project can fail. Without a PM, a project can fail. But there's no Scrum Master in a project, and that project has a product manager, the project most likely will not fail. So I hope that answers the question, Medina too. Okay, I'm not sure why people said yes, but yeah, let's keep on going. So the documents BAs create are mostly 2 documents, mostly. Any other document is because you have to be a senior BA to create those documents. What are the documents BAs create? At least a requirements document, which is your user stories. You must know how to do that one. And your process flow diagram. Those 2 documents, yes. Now, other documents that you could learn, things like gap analysis, SWOT, CATWO, which other one is there again? Feasibility studies, all those ones are for senior BAs. But if you already know them or you've learned about them, you can add to your CV. But if you're adding those things to your CV, have at the back of your mind that in that organization, if they actually need that document, because you put on your CV, they'll come to you and say, you said you can do this thing, right? Oh yeah, help us create this feasibility studies reports. I'm not an advocate of just adding things to your CV for the fun of it. Anything you add to your CV, make sure you know how to explain it if they ask you. So when you're listing things you can do, you went online or went to use ChatGPT or you went on Google, whatever, and you are seeing all these things, they might look very fancy. If you're not ready to go and learn how to use it, don't add it to your CV. Because when they are doing interviews, you genuinely don't want everything will be going well in an interview. They're not asking one question based on what you wrote on your CV and you can't answer it. That question for not answering it well, it just invalidates everything you have been doing for the first 30, 45 minutes in that interview. So I'll say this again. Anytime you are doing your CV yourself, bear at the back of your mind, whatever you are adding to that CV, you must know how to explain it if they question you. Biko, please. Any question before I proceed? Any question before I proceed? No? All right. Before I go into this, I'd like everyone to have a 10-minute break because this was we are going a bit more technical now. Please take 10 minutes break. Meet your kids, breathe, stretch your leg, drink water, make a cup of tea, whatever that makes you comfortable. Go and eat something, and let's be back by 10:30, please. Let me post the recording. I'm still here. I'm not going away. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Let me post my recording. Now, there's something called project life cycle. This is peculiar to project managers. BAs, if you pay attention, and obviously when we work on the project in this training, you can add it to your CV as well. But this is peculiar to project managers because they tend to ask interview questions around this to project managers in particular. Now, project cycle is just talking about all the steps you have to take while in a project, what you must do. Remember I said a project is anything that has a starting point and a finishing point. There are specific things in the middle you have to do to get to this finishing point. That's what the project life cycle is. All the things you need to do in a project as the project manager, you must do specific things. I've been talking about project plan, project timeline, the timing. Every product manager must know how to do the timeline of a project. When I'm saying the timeline, you must assign time to each task within that project. Let's just take, for instance, you want to plan a wedding. You are the groom or you are the bride, husband and wife to be, fiancé and fiancée, fiance and fiancé. Please, English is hard right now. Fiance and fiancé, Abi, am I right, please? You get what I'm trying to say, the bride and bridegroom to be. Those people, they go meet a wedding planner or a wedding event planner and I tell that person, I want you to be my event planner where we have a date locked, we would like to get married. That's the project. You know, for those that have attended wedding or have been close to families that are planning a wedding, you know that it takes a lot for a wedding to be planned, especially those big, even if it's a small wedding, even if it's not ordinary traditional house introduction, there's still a lot of planning that goes into it. From the ashrebi, to the food, to the musician, to the canopy you want to put outside, or I don't know how big you want the introduction to be, to the invites, the people that needs to come to that event. You have to invite them, because there are certain people, if you forget to invite them, you are causing trouble for yourself. It takes a lot to plan ordinary introduction, not to talk about a big, look at Davido's wedding now, that massive one in Miami. Do you know the number, how long, the amount of planning that went into that? All these things that had to be done. First thing first, you want to know who the makeup artist is. You have to go and source for vendor for makeup artist. You have to go and do the bridal, then Vicky James, then people. You have to go and look for dress. You have to look for the food. Some people might be allergic, or they have allergies to something. You have to go and look for the drinks, the cake, the decoration, even the venue, the guest list, the security, the how they do the invites, like the bridegroom and the groomsmen. Why my English is bridegroom and groomsmen, their outfits, the fitting, the fabric, a lot goes into all this. So also a project, a lot goes into a project. Companies don't just start employing BAs, PMs because they feel like wasting money. They spend money to pay you people. That project they're paying you to come and do is beneficial to the company if that project is done properly. Let me give you an instance. I just spoke about a wedding. I believe all of you your brains can assimilate what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to explain to you what it takes. I'm opening your mind so you can reason along with me what it means to do a project in IT. In any company where you're going to be employed to work as an IT professional or an IT personnel, that company is not just going to be happy paying you £1,000 per day or £400 per day or £40,000 per month for you to do nothing. You will do your job. It's not that some people's role is more intense than other people, but they are paying you what they feel is worth your time. And in order for them to start paying you that money, they must have thought about it. They didn't just wake up today and say, oh, we have a project. I want to spend £500,000 for the next 6 months to employ all these people just because I want to waste money. No, there is a problem that they are currently facing that is IT related, and they have to put together an IT team to help them fix that problem. Let me give you an example of a problem. At the moment, I want to believe we all know Amazon. They have, I think in Nigeria, they call this, is it Joomla, something like that. An online platform where you have different items you can buy. Think about it now. I want to start that. I'm not into that. I'm just giving you an instance. I want to start an online store that sells virtually everything. And at the moment, my store have already started, but I'm trying to compete with the likes of Joomla and Amazon. At the moment, if you have Amazon Prime, you can order a product today, and sometimes you can get that product that same day at night. Sometimes the very next day, you get that product delivered to your house. If I, a startup, want to copy Amazon, I will go bankrupt. Because you know the amount of money that Amazon is paying for the logistics. That means there are logistics individuals on standby. As one person pays, they're delivering. You that you've paid that money, the owner have not received their money in their bank account too. Because if those that are familiar with e-commerce online sales, you cannot pay today and the money, you see the money in your bank account today. If I pay you today, you are not receiving that money exactly that same day, except if I pay directly to your bank account, that's different. But if you are paying online, you don't receive that money. The vendor is not receiving that money that same day. Because if you pay through a website, you bought a product and you're making payments. Now, if I, as a startup, want to copy Amazon, I may go bankrupt, but I may go to the bank and get some loan. I want to make sure that when my own customers too, they buy my product or buy any products on my website, I want them to get it delivered as soon as possible. Maybe at the moment, it takes 3 to 5 days. You know, when you buy things from China, it can take 2 weeks. Sometimes what you bought, you forgot you won't pay for it. You have given up. It doesn't come. maybe 1 month later, that product will now come. Then you now see what I ordered versus what I got. You can't even cry. To send it back, you're not going to receive before they receive it. So I'm saying right now that if I want to start up my own online business and I want to copy a company like Amazon so that my own delivery process is equally as quick. So when customers buy from me, the product is delivered to them as soon as. I will set up an IT project. The consultant, when I spoke about consultancy, the consultant, I will work with a consultant. I'll go and tell that consultant, this is what I would like to do. How do I go about it? I don't even know, because I'm not an IT person. I know sales, not IT. So I'll have to go and meet a consultancy firm who are expert and knowledgeable in tech. They will be able to advise me, okay, in order for me to say, to improve my delivery process, you need this, you need this, you need this. You need an IT team. This is how much you're going to spend. The product will last about 1 year. To update the website or the mobile app, either on Apple or Google Play Store, it takes 6 months, whatever it is they decide. Once they've decided, they do a document called business case. A business case. It is that document that details everything. How long the project will last, how much they will use to deliver and complete that project, the number of people that will work on that project, all that is documented in the business case. Once the business case has been approved, it means the company has gotten the money to fund that project. That is when they start employing a PM. That is when they start employing a BA or developer or test analyst or solutions architect. That's when they employ those people. Now they've employed a PM. The PM is the first person that joins a project. Once a PM joins a project, then this project life cycle starts because they now have funding for the project. This is where project life cycle comes into play. So if you look at the project life cycle, the very first one says initiation, planning, execution, project closure, or project completion. Initiation is where the project is starting, initiation. And at this point, the project manager creates a document called project initiation document. This is the point where the PM or project manager joins the company. They'll be telling you, the PM, okay, Mr. and Mrs. PM, this is our problem. This is the issue we are facing. We are trying to be like Amazon. Our delivery service is too slow. They will explain the project to the product manager. Product manager at that stage is not doing anything. They are only trying to explain to the product manager their problem. They will give you that business case. They will now give you. You will now go away. You go and read it. Try to understand what you are reading that document for. Product managers, they're not reading to go and memorize it. No one's going to do exam. You are reading it so that when you want to plan your timeline, they've written it in there. So you know, oh, okay, for this project, I have 6 months. Okay. So when I'm doing my timeline is 6 months. Okay. For this project, I want to spend 1.5. Wow. Okay. So I have to do my budgeting document. Okay. Everything's in that business case document. Once they've given you that business case document, you have to go away, go through it, ask questions. While you are asking questions, if you remember in the last, before I went on a break, I was saying something like, you have to know what the problem is. It's with that problem, you start taking note of the tasks to do. It's when you speak to them, oh, we want to update this, you write it. Want to update that, you write it. Yes, sir, that's you. Question.
Sorry to interrupt you, Essay. Who did you say prepares the business case document?
An IT consultant or someone from the business, not the PM.
And not the BA.
No, BA. How will BA? BA comes after PM. PM is already there. There's no business case. Don't go and bring a BA. No.
All right. Thank you.
There's an exception to that. Let me explain. Ideally, is someone from, remember I said stakeholders come from a department that have the problem. Who remembers me saying that? If it's customer services that has the problem, stakeholders come from the customer services department. So the project you work on is a customer services project. If the problem or the system you work on relates to HR department, the stakeholders will have to come from the HR department. That means the project you want to work on relates to a project within the HR department. So stakeholders are coming from HR department because there's something wrong with the HR system that the IT team they brought you guys in to come and resolve. So whenever there's a business case, it's someone from that department that needs to engage with the consultant to put together a business case. I hope that answers the question, Sadatu.
Yes.
Now, in terms
Yes.
of who creates it, anyone can create it. We have permanent PMs, we have contract PMs, we have permanent BAs, we have contract BAs. A permanent PM can be delegated to come and work with that consultant to put together the business case. The permanent senior BA, they can call you, please work with this consultancy firm and put together a business case. But they'll have to delegate that to you. I don't know if that makes sense, Sadatu.
Yes, because I saw it online that BAs produce the business case. That's why I asked.
Senior
Thank
BAs.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, senior BAs,
BAs.
yes.
And they will be permanent BAs,
All
not
right.
contract BAs. You see, that's why I said there's a yes and no. Most times, ideally, it shouldn't even be a BA or P. It shouldn't be anybody from the. Imagine they are bringing you in to come and fix a problem, and you are the one doing the quotes for the problem. Do you know the problem? No, think about it.
Yes, I understand now.
Come and build a house as the engineer. You don't even know where the house is. You don't know how many story building. You don't know how big or small the house is. And say, do a quote. Quote for what? However, if they say, come and do a quote, come and speak to this person, they are the one that know the house type of structure they want. That person will tell you, oh, it's going to be a 5-story building. It is a school. We want this floor, that floor. That information can now help you create the business case. Does that make sense, Sadatu? Does that make sense, Sadatu? Yeah? I believe
yes,
that
it
makes
does
sense.
now.
Yeah. So
yes.
ideally, under normal circumstances, the department that has the problem, someone from there is supposed to speak to the consultancy firm to create the business case. Now, at the same time, if there's no one available from that department, because if the problem is from customer services are customer services, they're not IT. No one might be able to have that knowledge to be able to create a business case. However, if they have permanent senior BAs or a project manager, they can say, please, we need your help. We have a problem with customer services, which is IT related. Can you please help us speak to the consultancy firm to put together a business case? That's how a BA is involved or a PM is involved. Under normal circumstances, is someone from that department. All right. So that's a very good question. And that can be an interview question, but you have to explain it because it's not the job of a BA to do business case. BAs don't know the problem. It's the department that has the problem that knows the problem. But if they call the BA, say, look, BA, we want a business case. This is our problem. Help us create the document. They can now tell the BA the problem, and BAs can now, with the understanding, now create the documents. I hope that explains that.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Now, the initiation stage is where the PM creates the project initiation document. Before this stage, a business case already exists. So with that business case, the PM will create a PID. A lot of information that will be in this PID is that business case. So we'll be doing PID documents tomorrow. I'll show you how to do it. Everybody, please join us. Even if you're a BA, still join. Scrum Master, still join. Anyone, whatever you're doing, still join. Learn how to do a PID document in Confluence. I will show you tomorrow. But you need to have access to Jira anyway. But yes, that's part of what we're doing tomorrow. The PM, the first document they create is the project initiation document. In the initiation document, it is now stated in there that the project is actually going ahead because a business case already exists. The PID is like a duplicate of the business case. Like I said, it's like a duplicate of the business case. No, I said that because a lot of information in the PID, you will find it in the business case. You will see all this I'm talking about. You understand tomorrow when I show you a business case and show you a PID. You will see all the similarities. That's why I call it duplicates. But in as much as they are duplicating it, the PID still has its own functions because there are some things in the business case that will not be in the PID. But the information you need to complete your PID, you can get them from the business case. All right. So the initiation state is where the PID is originally done. Once the PID is done, then the project planning. We are dealing with the timeline. We want to know how many people will employ on this project. How long will each of these persons, when will they start their work? When will they end the project? Like whoever is going to be a part of that project will do the planning here, we'll do the budgeting here. So tomorrow we're going to do a PID and budgeting tomorrow. We'll do those two documents, and if time still permits, we'll now go into Jira tomorrow. But once your Jira access gives you access to Confluence, just so you know, you still have access to Confluence. So you're not paying anything else. Once you have access to Jira, we will give you access to Confluence, okay? Right, so PID, project planning. Once the PM now knows how much they are spending on this project, once the PM has put together their project plan, once the PM now puts together who are working on that project, they will go into the project execution. The project execution where the BAs joins. This is where BAs go and do stakeholder management. They go and identify the stakeholder, introduce themselves to the stakeholder, start asking questions like, when can I have meeting with you? I need your requirements. It's in this execution phase that the Scrum Master start doing project backlog grooming, sprint planning. All that happens in the execution phase. BAs now get requirements. Developers will now build based on the requirements. Then test analysts will go and test to confirm this structure that the BA built, did they build it well? Monitoring, daily stand-ups happens in the monitoring. This is how we monitor what you have done. This is how we monitor if you have any challenges, any issues, anything affecting your work, dealing with difficult stakeholders. If the stakeholder attending meeting, you are not attending, PM needs to find replacement stakeholder. All that happens, that's how you monitor what's going on. Project closure means everything has been done, mobile app has been built, website is complete, digital platform, whatever it is your project is, you have all done it. Project closure is now start doing training. This is when the company now start training their staffs on the new system or the new application. Project closure, project comes to an end. So project life cycle, just talking about all the things that needs to be done to get the project completed. This is a typical interview question. They'll ask like this: have you been involved in a complete project? Or were you involved when the project was already in the pipeline? Meaning the project was already ahead. You now joined in between. What I mean by that is this. Some PMs, maybe she just got married, the PM is female, or even the husband just got married, she's pregnant. And for those that are aware, baby can come anytime. We only pray for baby to come when baby is fully formed. You see baby that come prematurely, people can have miscarriages, everything happens, especially at that point when a woman is pregnant. As a project manager, once you observe your team member is pregnant or she's showing signs of pregnancy, or the man has said, my missus is pregnant, you have to start finding a replacement for that person, because baby can come anytime. And you don't want it to come in between the projects, and you don't have someone to replace that person. So as a PM, when you are doing your RAID log, this is a document we are going to create. It's called Risks, Issues, Assumption, and Dependency. PMs, you're going to create this. I'll teach you how to create it. When you're part of a risk is that pregnant person, because that person can leave anytime. So if a BA was pregnant and she's still actively working, there's no problem. As a project manager, you need to start finding a replacement BA for that person. Or even the project manager themselves, she might be the one who is pregnant. Once the project manager leaves, the program manager have to go and look for a replacement project manager to continue leading the projects. So a project life cycle, a complete project life cycle means you were there from the very beginning. You saw the business case eyeball to eyeball. You created project initiation document. You managed your team. You did your budgeting. You are doing your timeline. All of a sudden, you had to go. they have to now find a replacement for you. So when they ask you, have you been involved in a project life cycle, a complete one? If you've been there from the very beginning, then the answer is yes. Don't just say yes, I've been involved in a complete project life cycle. Explain what you mean by that yes. Talk about your project. In my current project, the way I was coming from, I was involved from the very beginning. I put together a project initiation document. I saw the business case. As you start speaking, they can start telling that, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. If they ask you, do you know what project life cycle means? Yes. Okay. What does it mean? Explain. Don't let them tell you to explain. In interviews, when they ask you a question, after you've explained what you want to explain, give an example when you did that thing in your project. This is what gets you the job, because you are not only explaining it, you are showcasing to the interviewer, this thing you asked me, I've just done it. Here are examples of when I did it. See scenarios where I did it. That is convincing enough. That's what gets people the job. When you're able to convince, not just telling them the theory, you can actually explain, in my last project, I did this, I did. The person interviewing you was not your company. They didn't see your project. It's the way you are saying it. In my last project, I put together a project initiation document. I did the timeline. The product was, this is the project, and the timeline given to me was to 6 months, 1 year. The budget given to me was this. This is how I spent the budget. This is what I used the budget for. As you are explaining, they can see that you know what you are talking about. I can only get this in internship, or if you work on a project, because you're going to do this in a mini project. If that's enough for you, if that gives you enough confidence to go and start applying for a job, by all means do. By all means, please do. All right. So a project life cycle, we're just talking about point A to point B, all the things in between here. To get to this project closure is project life cycle. Any question before I proceed?
God, it was shorter than.
Any question before I proceed? Tamara, okay. I'll check now. Please, anyone who makes payment for Jira, please stay behind after the class so I can set you up in Jira, please. All right, Tamara, thank you. Any question with regards to project life cycle? Any question? Any question? No? Okay. Like I said, project life cycle is, oh, Chinere, please go ahead.
Okay. I would like to know if we can get notes on the details with regards to the project life cycle, like the notes you actually explained on each of the
There are no
stages of
notes.
the
We're going to
project.
do it. We'll
Okay.
practice
All
it.
right.
We'll do the practical of it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. There are no notes. We'll practice it. But on practicing it, you will now know it. You don't need to take notes. We will do it. I'll make you, Mrs. Chinere, I'll make sure you know it.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Now, remember I said project life cycle is for project managers. Software development life cycle is for the team members, every other person within the team. Let me take it back. Let me show you. Remember I said the execution phase. This is where every other person, this part's execution. This is where the real work is done. This is where the BAs, I said it earlier, this is where the BAs start doing their stakeholder analysis, when they go and meet stakeholder, introduce themselves, ask them, when should I do meetings with you? Everything happened in the execution stage. When the BAs get their requirements, developers start to build in the execution stage. When developers build, test analysts, they do their testing in the execution stage. I said that a few minutes ago. Now, this execution phase stage, there's also a cycle inside it, which is the SDLC, Software Development Life Cycle. This one is particular to BAs, testers, developers, solution architects, UI, UX persons, all those people, they do their own SDLC. So if you are going to do, if you are
just mixed.
Sorry?
Based.
Sorry, who's speaking? You have a question? Okay. So if you're a product manager, make sure you put project life cycle on your CV, because in our training, we're going to work on a mini project, a small project, and we're going to start from the beginning up until the end. For BAs, that's business analysts, developers, test analysts, solution architects, UI, UX, who else again is there? I think that's about it. Data analysts, I don't really consider them as tech because BAs should be able to do what data analysts do. Companies don't really employ them except, I don't know, data analysts, I don't know. But anyways, BAs, testers, developers, solution architects, UI, UX individuals, yes, software development life cycle. Software development life cycle must be on your CV because software development life cycle is just talking about what you are doing, not project manager this time. Other members aside from the product managers, business analysts, what do you do? The planning. You go and start speaking to stakeholders. You understand how you want to meet with them. You set up your meeting. You get your requirements. Analysis, you start writing your user stories. That's your requirement. Design, this is where you start doing your process flow diagram. This is also the place the solution architects create their own diagram. The build, developers are building. Testers are testing what you have done. Then the cycle continues over and over again. Because we work in an agile environment, we work in baby tasks. This is, I don't want you to get over confused. When we start doing the practical, everything here, I'll make reference to it again. Please, just hear me out. Software development life cycle is different from project life cycle. Project life cycle is for product managers. Software development life cycle is for every other person in the team, aside from product manager. So BAs, you need to have SDLC on your CV. Developers need to have SDLC on your CV. Test analysts, UI, UX, solution architects, you need to have SDLC on your CVs, okay? This is where the work is actually done. The execution phase, as the word says, to execute, this is where the project is actually done. Remember I said product managers, when you first join the project, you have your own documents to create first. Team members are not yet on your project. You are doing your PID, you're doing your budgeting, you're doing your project plan, you're doing your RAC matrix, you're doing your RAID log. BAs are not yet on that project. Guys, put yourselves on mute, please.
I like to show success.
There's someone that's on.
Just take it as bank.
Look, I think I muted everyone. All right. So software development life cycle is where the work is actually being done. This is where the BAs are speaking to stakeholders to get requirements. This is the place whereby developers are building. This is where testers are testing. And the cycle goes on and on again. So take, for instance, Chinyere. Madam Chinyere wants to open like a school. Obviously, if you want to open a school, there's so many things involved. You have to get a building, you have to make the building safe. Let's say you want to do for babies, for maybe ages of 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. Maybe that's her area of specialty. That's the kind of school she wants for babies, toddlers, or pre-toddlers. Maybe that's the area she's interested in, because there's money in it. For those that don't know, there is money in it. But then again, as you have money, you're dealing with people's children's lives. If it happens to them, prison straight. So you have to make sure that, yes, there's money, but you have to do the right thing and put right processes and procedures in place. Everything that needs to be in place, make sure it's in place. Now, apart from having the building, apart from making the building safe for kids, having a soft play area, the area where they play with water, with sand, having the teachers to monitor those children. It can be 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, however you want to do it. Miss Chinnery has a school for babies. She'll have to employ staffs to help her, take care of the babies, depending on the ages of those babies. Each class have different babies, maybe 0 to 6 months, 1 to 3 years, however she wants to do it. Another key thing she would like to do is to have a website, because it's mandatory she needs a website if she really wants to do this properly. She needs to register her company. Now, that website part is one that concerns IT. On that website, she needs to talk about what she does, the certification and qualification of her staffs, herself, how they've investigated, what they've surveyed the building. It is safe for kids, because as a parent, you have no choice, because this country it's not like, where we come from, whereby you can have 5 helps or 2 helps, or some people that will help you where you can go and do your job and you pay them close to nothing. In this country, if you want someone to help you mind your child, you are more or less working for that person. You won't have anything left. By the time you pay that person, £600, £300. What do you have left? So if you want to now take your child to a baby school, you want to make sure that the same school too is safe for your child. You've seen social media, what happens when something happens to a child in a school. It's not funny. So as a parent, if you want to take your children to Mrs. Chinyere's baby school, you want to go to our website and make sure that they are who they say they are. They have all the necessary things in place. You can even see pictures. You even want to, after checking the website, you want to physically go and visit it just to convince yourself and be rest and to have peace of mind that what I saw on this website is who they are. Now, this is where the website part is where the IT team comes in. On her website, you're going to have different pages. A page that shows maybe the pricing, a page that shows all the activities the children do, a page that shows the type of food they will feed the children, a page that shows all the health and safety, all those health and safety checks, whatever certification the school has, just to keep the parents informed and give them peace of mind that, oh, I'm taking my child to Mrs. Chinyere's school. Based on this information on the website, I have a bit of peace of mind. But I still want to go and sit anyway, but I think I'm convinced this is enough for me to say I want to go and sit. Some websites you will look at. Let's put Mrs. Chinyere's website to the side for now. I'll come back to her website. So websites you go to, you want to buy something. Even for the website to open is a problem. You people call it is downloading. That's not the right term. It is rendering. It is trying to show you pictures, images, the text. It's rendering. You see that like a circle going round and round and round. It is still trying to render properly. You will get irritated. If there's another company that has that service you are looking for, and this was whiling away your time, you just close the web browser and open another one. Those things that makes a website slow, that the pictures are not clear, they look outdated, it's IT people that resolve it, that fixes it. Now, Mrs. Chinyere, let me come back to Mrs. Chinyere's business. She has been doing this business, but now she wants to have a website because she wants people from far and wide to bring their children. People that live in that vicinity, that don't live in that vicinity, might not know that Chinyere is offering that service. But with a website is global, it's online. Anyone from any part of the world can have access to it and see it. So people that live maybe outside of few miles outside Mrs. Chinyere's vicinity, when they have a website, parents will want to come and visit Mrs. Chinyere's school facility. Now, on that website will not just fall from heaven. Mrs. Chinyere, in this case, will be the key stakeholder because she'll be the one telling us what she wants on her website. Oh, when people put the website's name or her domain, chinyere.co.uk, the first landing page they see like this, let it be happy kids, smiling, playing with water. Something that will entice parents to want to keep on scrolling on that website. All the websites itself as a whole will have different pages, like different sections. As an IT team, we'll do the build of each page one after the other. The first page you see, which is the landing page, most times that's the first part of the website most companies build. So the BA will go and speak to Chinyere. Chinyere will give the BA requirements. BA will write down the requirements. What are requirements? I want the background white. I want my logo here. I want to have pictures of kids. Madam. I want to have pictures of kids moving, pictures of kids smiling. I want clear pictures of white kids, black kids, Asian kids, biracial kids, so that parents can know that I accept all nations. I don't only do for white children only, or another do I do for black children only, or another do I do for Christians only, or Muslims only. As long as you have a child and you need to go to work, bring your child to me. That's the kind of website vibe Mrs. Chinyere wants parents to see. Now, in order to have that beautiful website, the website doesn't happen automatically. There are different pages. If you click on this one, it's looking at showing you pictures of kids playing. If you click on this one, it's showing you pictures of how the staffs are playing with the kids, rocking the kids, or changing their pampers, or feeding them, or playing games with them. Peekaboo, I see you, different things. All those informations are requirements. They don't just happen down on the website. No, Chinyere speaks to the BAs. Let's start with the homepage first. All the information on that homepage, the background color, the clear pictures, the name of the business, their logo, everything on that homepage is a requirement. Chinyere will give them the pictures to use. Chinyere will tell them, I want the colors to be yellow, blue, this. I want baby, beautiful pictures. That's the requirement Chinyere is giving the BAs. BAs will just write it down. It's not the BA that go and tell Chinyere, Chinyere, on your website, you must have baby pictures. On your website, it must be blue. On your website, the logo must be here. No. Chinyere is the stakeholder. Chinyere tells the BAs what she wants, and BAs write it down. That's the job of a BA. They just write down the requirements. They don't add, they don't subtract. Everything Chinyere have said is what the BA will write. Once the BA have finished writing it, BA will go and show Chinyere, Chinyere, this is what you said. Is this correct? Is this everything you want for the homepage? Chinyere will say yes and give her approval. Then developers will go and build that homepage. Testers will test that homepage. If everything is okay, means homepage is done and dusted. We'll move on to the next. You see this cycle? That's why it is a cycle. Because when you do homepage, you do the planning, analysis, the design, the build, the test, everything's okay. You can now go to contact page. On the contact page again, the BA will set up another meeting with Chinyere. Chinyere will say, do you know what? This is my email address. Please let it be here. Let it be big. This is our telephone number. This is where we are based. This is our opening hours. This is our closing hours. Everything. This is our bank account to pay. This is how we do our payments plan. Whatever it is that needs to go on that contact page, Chinyere will give that requirements to the BA. Again, BA will write the requirements down. Again, developers will build. Then testers will test. It's like a cycle. We are now done with the contact page. Move on to the next page. So when I'm trying to give this example, I'm trying to explain to you what software development life cycle means. It is a cycle. Each cycle per page. I hope that makes sense. Any question before I proceed? Any question before I proceed about software development life cycle and project life cycle? The difference. Project life cycle is specific to project managers. So as a project manager, you must put PLC, project life cycle, on your CV. For BAs, Scrum Master, development devs, test, put SDLC, software development. You are building the software for Mrs. Chinere's website. So software development life cycle needs to be on your CV. Yes, does anyone have a question? Question? No? All right. Section 3, terminologies. A lot of these things here, I've been talking about some of them, not all of them, but I've spoken about some of them. Terminologies that you should start getting familiar with. Terminologies, start speaking the tech language. So when you're dealing with an interviewer or a recruiter on the phone, these are the kind of things you should be saying. I know I use layman's terms, then I tell you the technical terms. All right. So at least when you start getting familiar with those technical terms, you get used to them and you remember what it means. Deliverables, I've said that deliverables means documents. Artifact means document. Sometimes in an interview, they want to scatter your mind. They say, what deliverables have you created? You're wondering, I've not created any deliverable. Imagine as a PM, go for an interview and you're telling them you've not done any documents. What are you interviewing there? What are you now being interviewed for? You need to get familiar with these terminologies, please, and start saying them. So once we start our project, I'll start saying those things, please. Business case, I've already explained business case. Business case is a document that talks about the problem for a particular department. That document must be created. Someone must create it. Without a business case, an IT project cannot go ahead. A business case is when the companies now say, okay, do you know what? Okay, I've heard. How much do you guys need? How much did you write today? Then they provide the budget for it. Without a budget, an IT project cannot go ahead. Who's going to pay the PM? Where would they see money for to pay the BA? Without a business case, a project cannot go ahead. Please remember that. Stakeholder analysis, stakeholder management, I've spoken about all of this. Stakeholders are individuals from the business. They are the ones that will give the requirement because they know the problem. Stakeholder analysis, that's the stakeholders list, which the BAs need when they join the project. The stakeholder analysis is created by PMs. Project managers, you create stakeholder analysis. Stakeholder analysis, some companies, some documents call it RACI matrix, but it's talking about the stakeholders that needs to be providing requirements to the BAs. Stakeholder management, I've said this, but let me say it again. This is where the BAs who gets the stakeholders list, they go and introduce themselves to the stakeholders. They send an email. Hi, my name is Chinyere. I'm the BA on this project. I've given them, you can word it in any way, but basically what you're trying to tell that stakeholder is, I'm the BA. Please tell me your availability. When should I book my meetings with you? Stakeholder management is how how to engage with your stakeholder to get the best from them. Because if a particular stakeholder does not come to the office, they like working online, and you are in the office waiting for a stakeholder to come and meet you. You book a meeting, but you're expecting stakeholder to come and meet you physically. That meeting will not go ahead because stakeholders, they don't have the time to. Do you know where now that people work remotely? Some people can be working in Scotland and the company they're working for is in London. Some people can be working in Manchester and the company they're working for is in Ireland. So you expect them, because of one meeting, they should leave Scotland with flights and come and meet you. Why? No. As BAs, you must do stakeholder management. In fact, let me tell you this. Some product managers, because they want to catch, if they're already feeling that this BA seems like a fake BA, they want to catch you. When you join the company, when they've employed you, they won't give you stakeholders list. And as a BA, you should have stakeholders list. If you don't know that the PM is supposed to give you stakeholders, you will struggle because you've not done it before, or you didn't even know it exists. You'll be looking, whereas they are testing you. PM is testing you. You should be bold. Ask questions. Please, can I have the stakeholder list so I can start doing my stakeholder management before I start doing my requirements? Because once you've done stakeholder management, you cannot just go and start doing requirements straight. No, but at least you now know who your stakeholders are. At least you now know when to book your meetings if it's now required for you to book your meetings. You now know because you've done stakeholder management. So when you start planning the sprint, grooming the backlog, and they plan the sprint, they've assigned tickets to you or they've assigned tasks to you, you already know when you are able to book your meeting with stakeholders. In fact, sometimes I recommend book in advance. Just be booking the meetings. Just put placeholders in the calendar. So once they've given you some tasks to do, you know exactly what to do. You already have the meetings booked. This for BAs. Project kick-off session. Just like football. I don't know. I know females, you might not, some of you might not know what it means to do kick-off in a football game. Kick-off means when everybody comes together. This is when the game is about to start. Kick-off. So once you've done a business case, once the PM have done PID, once the PM have done rate log, they've done timeline, they've done budgeting, once the PM has done all the documents they need, now the PM will now organize this meeting so that the PM can introduce all the team members to the stakeholders and vice versa. Kickoff session, everyone will be in that meeting. Most times, this kickoff is done in person. Not all the time. Some people might be exempted from joining because of where they stay, but some companies will literally pay for your tickets to come for this meeting. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. Sometimes, some companies don't really care as long as you attend the meeting online. But this kickoff session is when the project is officially kicking off, meaning we want to start our SDLC now. Because before SDLC starts, remember I said SDLC is the execution, the doing of the work. And in your project life cycle, there's an execution there. So the project life cycle has already gone ahead, but the execution is about to start. So before we officially start working, before the BAs officially start getting requirements, before the Scrum Master plans the sprint or grooms the backlog, we're going to have a kickoff session. And once the kickoff session is done, as you can see, the next one is requirements facilitation workshops, status updates by PM, and escalation process. Escalation process is when, for instance, for those who have done reading or attended some interviews, or you must have heard with dealing with difficult stakeholders, PMs must explain to the team how they should be escalating a problem if team members have a problem. So if there is a senior BA, the senior BA manages the junior BAs. So if any of the junior BAs should have an encounter or problem, they report to the senior BA. Now, is that senior BA that will now escalate it to the project manager? There should be an escalation process. If there is a senior BA on your project, as a junior BA, if you have a problem, you can't just jump the head of the senior BA and go and meet project manager and explain the problem to project manager. You are looking for trouble. You might not last in that organization anymore. Is there anyone who got kicked out? These two people, I don't think they were here before. I don't know, but I don't think so. Yeah. What was I say? Escalation process. So whenever you're dealing with a difficult stakeholder or there's something going to affect your work, please escalate to the right person. Don't skip the head of your manager and go and escalate to somebody else. Please don't do that. You are inviting yourself trouble. Please, does anyone know if it's Elizabeth Joel was in class with us before? Because I don't know. I can't tell who was in or out. Does anyone know if it's Elizabeth Joel was in the class before and she got kicked out? And this Oluwasei person, does anyone know? All right. So these are the terminologies. There are so many other terminologies, but these are the common ones we'll be discussing. You'll be hearing us say it in the course of this our training, because with the look of things, this is almost 1 o'clock and we still have some more things to cover. But anyways, let's keep going. So the escalation process, project communication, document approvals, all of these things needs to be agreed. Document approval is part of what they call governance, to make sure that you put some checks in place. Because as I said, when from Mrs. Chinyere's project, when the BA is speaking with Mrs. Chinyere to get requirements from Mrs. Chinyere, the BA cannot go and write down something she didn't say. And the BA should write everything she says. They can't omit anything. So everything that Mrs. Chinyere is saying is what the BA documents in their JIRA as requirements. Everything she has said. You cannot add, you cannot subtract. Even after you've written it, you still have to have another follow-up meeting again with Mrs. Chinyere. Say, Mrs. Chinyere, you had a couple of meetings. You have like 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no maximum or minimum number of meetings you get from stakeholders to get requirements. The meeting only ends when you finally get all the requirements for that particular task, for that particular cycle. Then once they've given all the requirements, your job is done there as a BA. Then it's over to developers who now do the building of that homepage. So if there's any issue, any problem, Chinyere needs to approve your requirements before developer starts to build. Take it back to her and say, look, we had a meeting, this is everything you said. Is there anything else that I have written down that you did not say? Let me remove it now. Or is there anything you have said that I did not add? Let me add it now. That gives Chinyere a chance to go through the requirement, and if she's happy, she provides her requirements in JIRA. Developers will not pick up your ticket if the requirements are not approved, because they don't want to go and build something the stakeholder did not approve. So they won't pick up your tickets. So make sure you get approvals for all your documents, either as a PM or as a BA. Any question before I proceed? Any questions? No? Can I ask questions? Okay, I'm going to ask questions. And anyone who gets this question right, you get £50. So please hear me well. And please don't shout too much, because it's only one person I can give this money to. It's not everybody. So the first person to raise up their hand, let me stop sharing first so I can see whose hands are raised first. So there's no cheating. Let me stop sharing my screen. Oh, we have 2 slides. So anyways, the first person to raise up their hand is who I'm going to. Let me see if I can view as many. Audio is the last person on screen 1. Let me see where John's name is. 1 second. Let me see. Okay. Right. Who can what is the first document every project manager should create?
The ID.
Sadat, so I think you're the first person of your hand, right?
Yes, but someone already said it. PID.
Who answered? Who answered first? Let's be honest. Who answered first?
I think Odion.
It was me, Odion.
Odion.
Odion, right? Yes, she did. Yes.
Send your account details to me. I owe you £50.
Oh, but
Thank
that's not
you.
fair. You're supposed to raise hands first as
You're supposed to
instructed.
raise your
She
hand,
didn't follow the
please.
You are
You
instructions.
broke
supposed to
the
raise your
rule.
hand. Yes.
That's to
You
raise the
didn't
hand
follow the
first.
rules. You didn't follow the rules. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, she didn't, but she can have the money. But next time,
Are you
just
sure,
follow the
Sada, too?
rules.
You are sure that
Yes,
you can
I
give
don't
her?
mind.
Thank you,
Yes, yes,
Sadatu. God bless you.
yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
everybody put your hands back down.
Thank you.
Remove, no problem. Put your hands back down. I'm going to ask another question. Please, let's be honest. The first to raise up their hand is who I'll call. Don't just say the answer. It's the first person to raise up their hand. I'll go by the first, second, and third persons. All right. What tools? No, that one's too simple. Mention three. If someone has said PID, so PID is not part of it again. Business is not going to be part of it again. Mention 2 other documents a BA creates. Audio, no, I can't give you a audio, go away. You can't answer everything. I think James is the second person to raise up their hand. James, can you mention 2 documents a PM should know how to create?
Read log
Yes.
and oh man, this thing just skipped my mind.
Try.
PID is already mentioned.
The RSI matrix.
Who said RSI matrix?
It's Sada too.
No, Sada, I won't give you that. Mr.
I
James.
just helped him.
Oh, you are helping him.
Yes.
You don't like money.
I like money, but
okay, do you know what I'll do? Sada, you get £25, but James was the first raise of his hand. You get £25. Mr. Mark.
Okay, no, let's Sada to have it.
No, you
no,
both
we
of
can
you
share
have
it.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
we share it.
The next
I'll
person,
take 25. He takes 25.
Mr. Mark, you raise up your hands next. Can you mention 1 document as well that PM should create? And apart from the ones mentioned.
They create PM or BA?
PM.
Okay, I thought you said BA, sorry.
You don't know, okay, mention a document BA create. Mention 1.
Yeah, process flow diagram. They create the user stories too.
Please get in touch with me, Mark. £50. Good.
That's okay.
Who knows? And raise up your hand, please. Please, James and Mark, put your hands down. If you know any other documents, Cecil, your hands are still up, so you have a chance to answer this question. If you want to, you can leave your hand up because I'll ask you first before I ask other people. If you know any other documents that PMs or BAs create, mention them. Cecil, mention 2.
So there's RAG status, there's
Who
budget.
Who creates that?
PM.
Good. What other documents?
There's budgeting.
Who creates that?
PM as well.
Thank you. Put your hands down. Who raised up the hand again? Sadat, so I'm not calling your name again. Go away. No. Chidema, you've not said anything. Go on, please. Mention 2 documents and who creates them. Chidema, I can't hear you.
Hello.
Hi, Chidema. Mention 2 documents.
One of the documents that a PM will create is a scope of work.
Yes.
Status reports.
That's right. Someone already mentioned that one.
Oh, okay.
Mention another one. PM or BA, any of them.
Milestone, is it?
Milestone can be for PM, but
allocation resources, no. Oh.
I'll give you that because yes, that's how you do your budgeting. Because when you allocate resources, you need to know who is doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. Thank you very much. Please reach out to me. I might not remember everybody's name, so please reach out to me. Let me look for another question that I would like to ask. Who can explain? Please put your hands down, guys. Mark, Chidima, Hannah, I've never asked a question. Put your hand up. You want to cheat? Put your hand down first. Wait. Put your hands down, everybody. Please, Mark, your hands are still up. Okay, good. Who can explain to the best of their knowledge what project life cycle means?
Project what?
Project life cycle, PLC. Cecile.
Okay, so project life cycle, what I understood from it is just a cycle of how a project goes from the beginning to the end. And this is when the stakeholders decide that, okay, we want to carry out a project, and they're looking to bring on board the IT team. So they hold project manager, and the project manager, they give a project manager the business case. Project manager then creates a project initiation.
That's good.
And from there, they go on with the processes to execution and finally to the end of the project. And this is basically for the project manager.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I accept that wholeheartedly, and I'm glad you picked that up. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, no more questions, guys. Please, let me just pause this recording 1 minute. Now, I've been talking about Agile. I'm talking about daily stand-up. I'm talking about Scrum Master. I'm talking about planning a sprint. I'm talking about group backlog grooming. These are the ceremonies, we call them Agile ceremonies. These are the ceremonies that if you're working on Agile projects, you'll be attending these ceremonies. These ceremonies means the meetings, Agile meetings, but they don't call it meetings. They call it Agile ceremonies. So in an interview, they'll ask you, what Agile ceremony are you familiar with? Or which one have you led? Have you facilitated? When you say facilitate, did you book? Did you set up? Which meeting did you set up together? Meaning, send them email, communicated with them. Oh, we're having a meeting by this time, by this time. That means you are facilitating the meeting. Some people call it workshop. What we are doing here can be called a workshop. Some people call it workshop, some people call it session, some people call it meeting. It's all the same thing. What Agile ceremonies, what Agile workshops, what Agile meetings have you attended or facilitated? There are two questions here. The meeting you facilitate is one you are the one leading the meeting. You set it up. The meeting you attended or you participated in is you are just a member. Like in this particular training, I facilitated this meeting. You are attending this meeting. In internships, I expect you to facilitate meetings, be proactive, take the lead, lead. You leading is what gives you that experience. So in an interview, you can tell them, I did this. You can talk about, we did this. There are two things. Because in an interview, when they keep hearing you say, we, they say, wait, what did you now do? How can you just be we? If you have not actually facilitated a meeting, you can't answer that. You can be using we because you read it. That's how they catch people. They want to know what you did. How did you do it? They are more interested in you as a person. Yes, they also want to know how well do you work with other team members, but you as an individual, they want to know in your last project, what did you do? What was the project about? What document did you create? So when I'm talking about the Agile framework, I'm talking about the Agile principles as a whole. What happened in Agile? What did you do in that meeting? What did you do on that project? What was Agile? What does Agile mean to you? What does Agile mean? What does Agile mean to you? They want to know. So as we explained using Madam Chinyere's project, I want to use her project again because I hope that resonated with you all. In Mrs. Chinyere's business, the example I gave is she's starting a school. And in her starting that school, she has done all the checks, company registered, government have sent people to come and visit the venue, the health and safety, everything is spot on. Everything is, she has all the certification, food and hygiene, health and safety. She has all the certificates to run such a school. Because in this country, when you start looking after people's health, any small thing is a problem. They start investigating. So looking after even babies that can't talk, they want to ensure they have cameras. For those of you that have little ones, in nursery, most of those nurseries, they give parents access to the camera. So you can be watching, you're at work, you can be watching your child like this. That's a requirement to set up such a business that I'm talking about. Madam Chinyere, I don't know, is that your calling? Do you have any business like that? Madam Chinyere?
I don't have any business like that, but I can relate with what you're saying.
Okay. So Madam Chinyere's business, now she has done the physical aspects. The tech aspect, the IT aspect is where we IT people come in to help her build our websites. And I explained, we have homepage, you have contact us page. Who doesn't understand by homepage, contact us page? Who doesn't know what I'm saying at all? Who doesn't know what that means? Who doesn't understand when I'm saying homepage, about us page, contact us page, services page? I'm talking about websites. Who doesn't know what I'm talking about? Please say
me.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. I will show you what I mean by that. Let me pause my record. Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Everyone see my screen? Okay, so this is one of my companies, DIIT Training. This is my company's website. This, when you put the domain, this is the first thing you see, homepage. This is, if you click on contact, this is contact page. So let me click on contact. I click on contact page. This is what the contact page looks like. This is what it does look like. So when we are building this contact page, when, for instance, we're speaking to Madam Chinyere, she gives us all the information for the contact page. And we'll now do the analysis, we'll do the planning. BAs will go and get requirements from Madam Chinyere. She gives, the BA writes down the requirements about contact page. The requirement is given to developers. Developers will now build this contact page. Contact page did not exist before on the website, but developers have now built a contact page because she wanted a contact page on our website. For the home page, let me show you other page. We have collaborations. We have different pages under collaboration. People we collaborate with or affiliate programs. But let me go to this part. 1 second. Let me move out of here. Hold on. Let me move this out of here. 1 second. Let's go to our program. Well, let me go to our programs. Let's go to live bootcamp trainings. This is a page that exists or does not exist before. Chinyere will say, do what? I want a page called live programs. All the requirements, as you can see at the top here, there's a lady here with a picture. There's a text here in white. Underneath, you have a video talking about Agile project management. You have a video talking about business analysis. You have a video talking about AI machine learning. You have a video talking about social. All these things you are seeing do not happen with magic. It's a requirement the BA wrote down. How the text looks, how the background is white, how you have like a video here, text, video text, like arranged is a requirement. Look at the top. How you have the logo on the left-hand side, DIIT is written in a different color. The logo of the globe is like orange. You have UK Consulting in white. On the right-hand side here, if you can see what my cursor is doing, look at this place that says, book a free consultation. You see how the edges look like circle. Let me move my cursor out. All these things are functions. It's a requirement. Because everyone knows what I'm trying to say. You have all your social media handles here. If you click on Instagram now, for instance, it takes you to Instagram. These are requirements. They don't just happen by themselves. It's a requirement from stakeholders. So in an agile project, we build it page by page. You have the home page, you have our program page, you have the recruitment page, you have the internship page, you have success stories page, you have collaborations page, you have contact page. Does that make sense when I'm saying the pages? This website was not there before. On our project, we're going to work on a brand new website, a mini website. So you see what it means by starting a project from scratch. And you also see what it means joining a project that already has started. They're two separate things. So when I'm talking about Agile, in Agile, we build in something called iterations. We will plan a sprint. That sprint means tasks. We'll plan some set of tasks. We'll focus on that one first. Once we finish that one, we can now move to the next task. So see the home page as a task. See our programs page as a task. All these pages did not exist. Madam Chinere doesn't have a website right now for this example I'm giving. So let's assume that is our project. We will build each page. The role of a product manager is to manage everybody. The role of the BA is to go and speak to stakeholders to get the information. That information is requirements. To go and get the requirements from the stakeholder, the BA will write it down as user stories in Jira. Once the BA writes that down, then and is approved, then developer will go and pick up your tickets in Jira and build it. Testers will now test. Once you are done with the homepage, all the information that needs to go on the homepage, once all of that is completed, then we'll move on to the next page. Does that make sense? Websites don't fall from heaven. It's an IT team that work together to build it. Does that make sense, everybody? Who is still confused? Ask. I'll use another example. Who is still a bit confused when I'm talking about the pages? Or who doesn't? Okay, let me say a question. Yes, Hannah. Okay, that's fine. The same also applies to mobile apps. Have you ever downloaded a mobile app? You'll be like, this is the most useless mobile app I've ever downloaded. It means the IT team that worked on it didn't do a good job. They didn't build it properly. Maybe the requirements were not clear. Developers don't understand the requirements. Some of developers to ask questions to clarify, they just built anything and they now ended up building it. Testers too, they didn't even test it well to go and check if the quality of the mobile app is good. They just put it in Apple Store and Google Store. And they're saying people should go and pay £1.99 to download, or they're saying download for free. Now you've downloaded it for free. Virus have entered your phone. All these things is the IT team that needs to put things together, especially the product manager. The PMs have a huge role to play, ensuring that whatever products or website or mobile app, whatever is the project is, they deliver something good. Because if you work in an organization and they are happy with the way you work, they would, especially for contractors, they will extend your contract. When I started my career, I started as a contractor. Back then, it was £150. They sacked me the following week. I cried blood and kata. One woman. And I tell this story to people. I'm sure some people have heard this story before, but I share this experience so people know that, look, what you are today, as long as you are determined to want to be better, where you are today does not determine your future. It's when you don't do anything that you have finally failed. But as long as you have identified where you are, yes, you might be content, but you know you have the room to grow more and you are taking steps. It might not have happened just yet, but don't give up. Just keep pushing. Let me tell you my story. Wait, let me pause my recording first.